I am making my homemade pastrami sandwiches. I've got my 3-pound brisket here that has been brining for 3 days. It's ready to go. And the brine was actually really easy to make. I started with some salt, 2 kinds of sugar for sweetness and a little hint of molasses flavor, pickling spice, coriander and mustard seeds, pink curing salt to preserve and color the meat, 4 cloves of garlic, then covered everything with simmering water so that it can dissolve. Added cold water to cool it off, and then it was time for the showpiece, my gorgeous fatty brisket. I let the brine infuse into the meat for 3 days, and you really can just forget about it. I'm patting it dry because I'm gonna give it a shell of spices now. That's my favorite part, that edge of the pastrami where you can feel the spices between your teeth. I've got a mortar and pestle here that I'm gonna use to crush up some whole peppercorns. I'm gonna use a 1/4 cup. This will give it such a pretty color on the outside in addition to that tasty peppery flavor. A 1/4 cup of coriander, which is gonna give that woodsy note. This is a lot of spices, I know, but we're gonna give this guy a thick coat for the winter. I'll crush this up. That is the smell of pastrami. And then a couple of tablespoons of smoked paprika. So typically pastrami is smoked and then steamed, so I'm using this to help mimic some of that smokiness. I'll stir this right in, and now I have this gorgeous spice rub, and I'm gonna cover this in its entirety with this spice rub. It's just like covering something in glitter, but the glitter is actually spices, and the glue is actually brisket. I'm gonna flip it over and get it covered on the other side. This is going to be the most flavorful bite of meat I've had all day. Okay, this brisket has got a thick coat of spices. I'm gonna transfer it to my roasting pan. I'll rinse off my hands. I'm gonna add about a 1/4 inch of water to the bottom of the roasting pan, and that's gonna steam the meat to help it stay extra moist. I'm gonna grab some foil to cover it. This will help lock in that steam. I'll roast this at 300 degrees for 3 hours. I can smell it already. My pastrami is almost ready. It's been roasting for about 3 hours. Now I'm gonna do the unthinkable and make some onion rings to go on the sandwich as well. They couldn't be simpler. I just dredge and fry some thick slices of onion. I start with a little flour, then into the eggs, and coat in a combo of seasoned classic and panko breadcrumbs. Right, these are all breaded. I've got some oil heating to 350 degrees, and I'm gonna fry these just a few minutes until they're golden. It smells like a fast food restaurant in here. I love it. Oh, this is exactly the color that I'm looking for. Hello. It's golden and gorgeous. I'm gonna transfer it to a wire rack so any excess oil can drip off and it'll stay crispy. Season with a pinch of salt. And now it's time to check on the pastrami. I mean, that is a hunky piece of meat. I'm gonna transfer it to my cutting board and put these sandwiches together. I love that the accessories for a pastrami sandwich are typically kept really simple. Just good spicy deli mustard and some pickles. Okay, I'm ready to slice. I'm gonna get some slices across the grain. The knife just cuts right through it. Look at that color. I cannot not taste this immediately. Am I in New York right now? I'm having this out-of-body experience. This is insane. I don't know how this could possibly get any better, but I'm gonna make it better on a sandwich. Here I go. And I like some nice thick slices. Oh, look at that steam. I wish you could smell this right now. To assemble, I'll put out my pieces of rye bread, and I'm gonna add mustard to each of the slices. I'm getting excited. Next, the pastrami. I have a really good feeling about this. This is the real deal. I'll get my onion rings on. Give them a little smash so that they can all just get together. I'll top with some pickles and some cute toothpicks. Think. I'll slice. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, this is the money shot. This is it. Oh my gosh, holy buckets. This is what I'm talking about. Ta-da! Hi! Okay, it is time to dive into this dinner. Splash!
It's my catfish sandwich with a Chipotle lime slaw. Now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get some flour over here on the first one. A little bit of flour. And check it out, some chili powder. And this is gonna be the beginning dredge. This is what's gonna stick to the fish. A little chili powder and a little black pepper. Okay, this is what's gonna have first contact with the fish. Secondly, a little whole grain mustard. And the whole grain mustard is gonna go with a little beer, a little nice rich beer. You get that really great mustard flavor. You get the richness of the beer. You get the tanginess of the mustard, the sweetness of the beer, all these things going on, killer. Watch this little trick. Right underneath the hand, boom, Yahtzee. Okay, there we go. A little dark beer in there on that. And then, to make this whole battering process go on, little panko breadcrumb here. Oh, good, I did have enough, okay? And these, a Japanese breadcrumb, really light, crunchy, holds onto the fish really well. It doesn't get soggy, doesn't get matted and cakey. Okay, some granulated garlic. Some paprika. Wow, that's some good looking color on that, huh? I always keep some fresh ground black pepper off to the side. Nice helping of that. Some salt, and there we are. All three are ready to go. Look at the color coming out in that. That'll really shine nice. Okay, so we get all this separated. The star of the show, these beautiful catfish fillets, nice and tender but firm, not overly fishy in their taste. I think they go great in gumbo, jambalaya. It's gonna work fantastic in the sandwich on this nice Cuban roll. I mean, it's gonna be quite the presentation. So we get this. Let me mix this up. Okay. Dredge this through here, like that. Here's my tray. Now into the beer, so the flour sticks to the fish. Now we get some of that great beer flavor and that mustard sticking to the flour, and then boom, into the panko, over the top like that. And I did not do my wet hand, dry hand, so as my son Hunter would say, I am now going to have Hulk fingers. They'll start building up. That's all right, I'm only doing 4 fillets. And what I'm gonna do is set them on this rack and let them dry out a little bit. And what happens, that helps the breadcrumbs adhere. And you see I'm really packing it on there, okay? This is gonna let the breadcrumbs adhere better, so when I fry it up, it's gonna give this nice, crunchy, stick-to-it kind of batter. Nobody flaking and falling off in this. Okay, some onions, red onions, some green onions, some red bells, some nice cabbage, and all this is gonna go together for this fantastic slaw that's gonna go on top of these catfish fillets that I have dredged in basically everything I have in the fridge and in the pantry. All right, get all this stuff down. There we go. Now this is gonna be the delicious Chipotle lime slaw, and this is going to marinate in the fridge for a little bit. Let me get this out of the way. Oh, I gotta get a little bit of cilantro down in there as well. Let me just get a little piece of this out. Just a touch. Now, the Chipotle pepper, of course, plays a nice piece in this, and you know on GBB that I love my Chipotle peppers, but especially because when I'm thinking about being down in La Manzanilla, you know, my chill spot, just kind of goes hand in hand. Okay, some mayo, some sour cream, and some Chipotles in adobo. Oh. One of my favorite things ever. I'm not kidding you. You know, at Chipotle, being a smoked jalapeno pepper, they had to have a way to preserve the pepper back in the day, so they would smoke it, they would dry it out. Well, then they reconstitute it by making this adobo, which is kind of like a spicy vinegar sauce made with tomatoes, and oh, it's so dynamite. I mean, it just goes hand in hand with all kinds of great Mexican or Southwestern food. So 1/2 cup of the sour cream in my precise measuring techniques here on GBB. Okay, let me get you a little salt, actually a little pepper, a little salt. Chipotles are a little small on this one, so I'm just gonna kind of use 2 on this one. Chop it up. Want to get as much of that sauce in there as I can. Okay, and as I said, that adobo's got the tomato sauce and vinegar, a little bit of salt in there to kind of reconstitute them and preserve them. Okay, so that's in. Now, here we go. microplane, take the zester, get some of the lime zest in there. Not going down too far, just getting the top piece there, and then taking it and getting the juice. The juice by itself just doesn't say lime enough. Now, I'm gonna put some lime juice, and I'm gonna put some white vinegar. And why the white vinegar? Well, you know, the vinegar kind of gives that real distinctive flavor and says, I am slaw. And the lime juice has kind of the citrusy, acidic side to it. So a couple tablespoons of that, and I think this will work out great. Okay, and before I go any farther, let me get a little bit of sugar in there too. Kind of bringing all the flavors together. Okay, so mix this up. Let this kind of hang out for a second, and then I'll pour it on top of that slaw mixture and pop that in the fridge. Cast iron skillet's ready to go, and we've only got about a 1/4 inch, a little bit more of oil in there, and these catfish fillets are ready to go downtown. Now these are gonna go down, I'm only gonna put 2 in at a time. Even though the cast iron really retains heat well, this is great for doing fried chicken, by the way, I don't wanna put too much in at one time, have them steam each other and lose some of the spreading. So in, nice and easy. Look at that, about halfway up. And another one. That's a hearty portion of catfish, I may say. Okay, so we'll let that bubble over like that. Let's take a minute here and turn these over and see if they're ready to go. I don't want to mess with them a lot. Actually, I don't want to use tongs. I want to use some kind of a spatula and see if this is ready to go over. I really want to make sure that the crust, the crunch is really set up on that other side. So let me take a look here. All right, that bad boy's ready to go over for sure. There we go. And over on this one, nice golden brown. Look at that. Little Cuban roll, toasted it there with some butter. Actually grabbed some of this slaw, throw that right on top of this Chipotle lime slaw that I made. Fantastic. Let me grab a cuchillo, look at that thing. And what we're gonna, look at this. I just gotta check it out. I wanna see what it looks like from the side here. It's enough to feed 3 people, just one sandwich. Take a look at that. Let me get into a bite of this. Wow.
The ultimate turkey sandwich. So I'll start by roasting some of this turkey breast. I'm gonna preheat my oven to 350. Now, I like to keep the turkey and the flavors I put on them fairly simple, because I want it to just be about that supple, fresh roasted turkey meats. So some salt on both sides, some cracked pepper, and just a sprinkle of dried thyme. Just a little herby underhint. And then I'll turn it on its second side. And you can see Justin gave me turkey breasts with the bone still in. Roasting the turkey on the bone will keep it extra juicy as it cooks. More salt, pepper, and more dried thyme. I'll turn them skin side up and pop them in my oven. Now these weigh about 2 pounds each. I'm gonna count about 20 to 25 minutes per pound of turkey. Okay, now what are we gonna pile on top of that turkey? Because I wanna really have a 10-car pileup in this sandwich. A little bacon, a nice head of crispy lettuce, and a little creamy dressing. I've found the best way to cook bacon crispy is to start with a cold pan on a low heat, make a single layer of the bacon strips, and a little trick I picked up in France, add a little bit of water to the pan. This helps draw out more of the fat during cooking, and then you're pan frying the bacon strips in more of its own fat, so they actually get crispier. So I have some crispy iceberg lettuce, an American classic. Bland, yes. Amazing texture, cool, crispy, fantastic, also yes. And that's why I love to put it in my sandwiches. I take a whole head. I like to leave it in big pieces because it really soaks up the dressing nicely. And I'll just gather those in a bowl, and I'll pop this back in the fridge so they're nice and icy cold. Now, what about the dressing that's gonna go on this iceberg? If I'm not gonna go with my trusty standby mayonnaise, what am I gonna make that's gonna stand up and substitute? Well, I have a great understudy. A 1/4 cup of cream, a 1/4 cup of white wine vinegar, tablespoon of poppy seeds. Give it a whisk. Look at that. Now, before I put this dressing away, let's have a peek at what's going on with this bacon. Wow. Now, as this bacon flips on its second side and gets even crispier, I'm just gonna steal a spoonful of that bacon grease and pop it right into my dressing. And I'll just put this dressing into the refrigerator now. I love the smell of bacon. It's intoxicating. I want to stuff this into a sandwich and eat it by itself. But since we've made all these other things and arranged for this whole meal, it's time to really get everything together so this sandwich can be all that I imagine it to be. I'll just cut the bread. And as far as I'm concerned, I think it always needs to be toasted. I like my sandwiches with toasted bread. That extra brown flavor always adds a lot. So now I think that my turkey is ready. So as I put this bread in to toast, I'll pull out my turkey breast. As you walk, you can smell that dried thyme and the way it's coated that turkey. So once it comes out of the oven, I want to get this turkey breast right off this hot rack and put it on something cool to let it rest. So I'll let that cool to the side. So we have our iceberg lettuce chilling in the refrigerator. We have our bacon strips. How about that little fresh element that's just gonna be that little layer right in the sandwich that just adds a bit of tartness, maybe a little fruitiness? For me, that's a Granny Smith apple. Break them apart. A little bit of lemon juice just to keep them alive. Keep a little zip in their step until we're ready to put this sandwich together. Now for this particular sandwich, I've toasted the bread pretty dark. That's because I've got a lot of juicy stuff going on here and I want to keep that bread nice and crispy. First step is the turkey. I'm just gonna cut a few slices. Can you believe how juicy this turkey is? This is what really makes cooking fresh turkey meat at home worth it. Juicy, roasted, homemade, easy, tasty. Now I just kind of just layer this on. I want to go next on top of the turkey with those crispy pieces of iceberg lettuce. And here's where you got to start pressing. Some of that dressing. And I make sure that I get it soaking into the crevices of this iceberg. Then a few strips of that bacon and a few slices of apple. Listen to this sound, seriously. Oh, yeah. And then cut through all that layer. Wow. The roasted turkey is so juicy. It's so moist, it's warm. The bacon comes through, and I just got my first hint of those poppy seeds with the white wine vinegar and the cream. Just kind of ties it all together.
Now my ultimate steak sandwich starts off with thick, juicy ribeye. All right, so we're gonna take the steak. All right, just like this. And we're gonna slice it. All right, think about like a sushi chef, right? We're gonna take a very, very sharp knife, and we're gonna slice the steak almost sashimi style. And you want to cut the slices, all right, I mean, really as thin as you can possibly get it, probably a 1/4 inch. The idea is to let the steak melt together, and those thin slices are definitely going to give you that. So we're going to cut the steak, and then we're going to stack it up almost like shingles. All right, now it's really important when you cut the steak to make sure you overlap it with just enough steak that when we pound it, it's going to fuse together and it's going to look like one solid piece. So let's take a look at this. Now what we're looking for is, steak that will cover a beautiful hoagie roll like this. So what we're gonna do is take the edges of the steak and we're just gonna roll it in on top of each other, all right, just like this. And then take the other side and kind of fold it in as well. Then we're gonna pound it one more time and we're gonna have a perfect shape for a steak sandwich. All right, cool. So we can take that same piece of plastic right on top of the whole thing. We're gonna give it a couple more pounds, all right? Now we're going to season it right before it goes on the grill. At this point, we're gonna take a knife, cut it just like that. Take these two pieces of plastic. All right, we stack them right on top of each other. One right on the other. All right, and we are good to go. Quick little wash up. All right, perfect. We throw it right in the fridge. You keep it nice and cold. Just like this. And we have got our steak together for the ultimate steak sandwich. 1, 2, like that. All prepared, ready to go. Good Boy Scout. All right, you're gonna throw this in just like that. So what we're gonna make right now is the bechamel, which is basically like a milk gravy. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the butter, we're gonna cut it in half, and we're gonna drop, it's like a half a stick in. So we've got about a 1/4 cup of butter, and we're gonna add this equal parts flour, which is about kind of 3 big tablespoons here. 1, 2, and 3. Just enough, so it looks like wet sand. We're gonna make this with whole milk. Let's start to melt around a little bit. All right, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch gears from a wooden spoon to a wire whisk. And you wanna whisk as you put the milk in pretty vigorously. Then we're just gonna whisk in the whole milk. And we're gonna add about 2 cups of milk to this. The Gruyere is gonna melt perfectly into this. Now, if you want to mix up the cheeses or you can't find Gruyere, you can use anything. Use Swiss cheese, blue cheese, Parmesan, cheddar, a mixture of a few different cheeses if you want to. Probably 1.5 cups or 2 cups of grated Gruyere cheese. It's going to melt instantaneously. Just give that a stir. All right, the Gruyere sauce looks fantastic. It's going to have a beautiful flavor of the beef. Let's take a look at our hoagies. All right, they're kind of hot. See how it's starting to toast on the inside? They look beautiful. A couple more minutes, they're gonna be nice and golden brown. And right now, we are putting a little bit of horseradish into a Gruyere cheese sauce. Then we season up a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we dumped probably 1.5 or 2 cups of grated Gruyere cheese. And again, you can add any kind of cheese you want. And then to throw it off with a little kick, all right, we add about a tablespoon of prepared horseradish, the same stuff that you add for your Bloody Mary. So I know you got some in the fridge. And I'm just gonna give it a little taste. Oh, it looks beautiful. That's sensational. That just screams out for a steak sandwich right there. And what we're gonna do is take the plastic off. This is how it goes down in Philly, right? Right on the griddle. Got 2, just like that. All right, a little bit of salt, some fresh cracked pepper, and some olive oil. And we're cooking for probably 5 minutes on one side, because you want a really great crust. And then we're gonna flip the whole thing over, and they're gonna stay nice and juicy because it's ribeye. It's really fantastic. What we have here is some arugula dressing, some arugula mayonnaise, a little bit of mayo, all right, some fresh arugula, and a little bit of lemon juice, some extra virgin olive oil, some salt and pepper. And we're just gonna smear one good layer right on the bottom. And then we're gonna hit that flavor home one more time. We got some fresh arugula that we're just gonna put onto the bread here. Again, so it's green, it's crisp, it's fresh. It's not just steak and cheese. It also has a little bit of character to it. A little fancy, And honestly, if you don't have arugula, you can just chop up some lettuce and put it around the bottom anyway, just to get some nice little snap. So you also get some temperature difference as well, because the steak is hot, the greens are cool. It's gonna be really delicious. Okay, so what we're gonna do, guys, check this out. My favorite scene. Okay, we're gonna take the steak, flip it over for a second. Look at that, nice and caramelized. This is how it happens in Philly. 1, 2, 3. Ready to take it off. Drop it on like that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Oh, man. It's crispy, it's delicious, and each steak sandwich is really half of a big, thick ribeye steak. Look at that, and awesome, right? And it's sliced so thin, it's so tender, and when you bite into it, the steak just kind of falls apart in your mouth. It's really good. Now take a look at this cheese sauce. That is phenomenal. Wow. Oh. Now a dry eye in the house, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Gruyere cheese sauce, fresh arugula. Then we're gonna take the sandwiches with the hoagie on a hinge. Right, we're gonna flip them over just like that. All right, we're gonna cut them in half. We're gonna stack it up on our plate. We made a really beautiful fresh coleslaw to go with the whole thing. Take a look at that. All right, I just like to present the sandwiches just like that. And you gotta get a little bit of sauce on your chin. Wow, flavors are phenomenal.
A beef on wax. So this is my upstate style roast beef sandwich. First things first, get the oven on like 450. We'll work with that later, but just want to get that preheated. And I am taking, you know what this is, Jeff? Come on, Mr.
Chucky.
Meat.
It's a sirloin.
It's a
What is
eye of the
it?
round, top
Eye
round.
of round.
So we need some spices for this, and all these are dry spices. This is what's really the key to this. Is it should be dry spices, not fresh herbs, okay? We're just gonna put some meat glue or Dijon mustard on, so, so it just adheres. So just get this room temperature, remember, so it roasts evenly. You know, that's secret.
Why are you departing from the Zaccharian credo of fresh herbs and going dry here?
It's what they do, and it's so good. I like, why mess with it with fresh
Maybe
herbs?
the texture, right? It's it's like a rub.
You're not gonna taste really the mustard. It just really helps get everything adhered. So we're doing oregano, parsley, dried parsley. You can put dried thyme. I'm just getting, whatever I add in the box, I like.
This would be
Oregano,
good
dried parsley,
use of the dried Italian seasoning with like
Yeah.
all
all that
all the
together.
herbs.
It's a great idea, Jeff.
I know.
Open it up. So there's some sage, oregano, and you can use Mexican oregano. I like Mexican oregano. Do you use that? I think
Yeah.
Love it, floral.
it's really
super floral.
very floral. And then we are gonna salt it like there's no tomorrow.
So your seasoning, I mean, clearly on all sides.
Yes.
Critical.
Critical. A good amount of pepper, but we're gonna put a ton of pepper in the sauce, which is really the best part of this is, I think, the sauce and that thing right there, which I'm gonna show you about. All right, so, again, this is a big hunk of meat. My oven is on 450. We're gonna start it out high, and then we're gonna drop it down for about 20 minutes to 300 and let it get to an internal temperature. People ask me how long, how many pounds per minute. I'm like, I don't go like that. It's just, I can't think like that. We're looking for an internal temp of 110 to 115. Bring it out and let it actually get cold and rest. So let's not get ahead of ourselves, Jeff.
Yes.
Let's put this in here. A piece of rosemary. I don't know if Charlie put rosemary on that, Charlie the butcher, but I'm doing it anyways. I like it. Some Worcestershire sauce. Some soy sauce.
So all that's just gonna mix with those meat drippings
Oh,
and get
you got it,
super
Katie.
delicious.
And some beef juice. This is where, I would say, forget the vegetable stock or chicken stock. You need beef stock for this one.
Yes, you
All right. You ready? So I brought this out and I'm resting it until it gets room
Look at
temperature or
that.
cold. So this is just, it's chilled, but we're gonna slice it in a minute. First, we have to make the sauce.
Oh, it
Ready for the
smells
sauce?
so beefy in here right
So
now.
if you're going to the game, you can make this, put it in your cooler, bring it, slice it up, and make your sandwiches.
Yes. So we have now some sour cream, some cider vinegar, a boatload of horseradish. Really important that it has nose feel, because this is it's dense meat, and you really want to.
Nose heat.
Is that
Especially
a
at the
culinary
end.
term?
No, I just made
Nose
that up.
feel?
It sounds like you just made it up. Sounds like something I would say.
And again, a good amount of pepper. This is really very important that this is spicy and peppery, because this is a relatively fat-free piece of meat, and you need this to sort of.
Oh,
give it
good.
some
I can have
taste.
double
Yeah, free.
then. Free.
Sign me
Except
up.
for the butter.
Give
on
me
top.
extra sauce in that
know.
case.
All right, here's our, just smelling it makes me go crazy. All right, that's done. But then the beef, the weck, this is the roll. It's a soft roll, right? It's sort of like very airy, almost brioche-like.
Kaiser-like.
Kaiser Sosa roll.
There's
Jeffrey,
no
what
Kaiser
does
Sose
on
rolls
weck
here.
mean?
On
My
weck.
favorite.
It's just a
Favorite
roll.
baseball player.
The beef on weck, and I'm gonna make it right now, all right? A lot of melted butter.
Well, the full name for the roll is a Kummelweck roll.
Yes, Kemmelweck. So, caraway seeds, a good amount of them on top. You're just gonna pop this in the oven for 5 or 6 minutes just so it just sets, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of salt, again, but salt that
Coarse.
doesn't, Coarse
Coarse
salt.
salt.
Or sanding salt, right? What do they call that? Sanding salt?
Sure. Well, it's sandy sugar, but we're making
You know,
up a
when you
lot
put
of
it on an
things.
apple tart,
Like
sanding
flaky
sugar.
sea salt would be good, right? Like
Yeah, but this is really chunky. You want this to get in your teeth.
Coarse salt, right?
Yeah. Just set it, right? And forget it 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Just set it. That's all
I
you want.
trust you.
Are you ready to have a sandy?
I'm ready. I sat in the right seat today.
Yes, you did. Okay.
Sauce, meat, bread.
Yes.
Done. Classic.
Okay, so we need sauce. So Jeff, I like to put the sauce on the bottom.
And why is
It is
that?
controversial, but in this application, because I know you're gonna put
Yeah.
some more of the drippings on the top, right?
And here's what I like to do also, some shaved onion, but very,
Oh.
very,
Wow.
very finely shaved.
And a
That's like a
yellow or
deli
white
slicer.
onion. Ooh.
Yeah, right. A little more, just, I know you like onions, Katie.
Man, I tell you what, I'm gonna be tasting this all day long.
Yeah,
I
you
can
will.
already
Just
tell
when you
starting the
think that
day
you-
off.
Yep.
Slice it here, so you can
Oh,
see.
I want that little end piece.
This is a good time if you have a gas-powered deli slicer at the tailgate to rip it up.
I got an amuse-bouche.
Can you see that? So, you see how nicely it's cooked all the way through? Mm-hmm. That's when you rest it, when you make sure that you start at room temperature. Oh.
And you need a really sharp knife to get those.
So I'm gonna
nice
put a little, I
thin-
have this, this is the secret sauce that came off the pan, and we just strained it and put it in here. It's just, it's everything that, the mustard, the oregano, sage.
Oh, yeah.
So drop it in here.
Just a quick dip, right?
It's a little dip in the swimming pool.
That's it.
A quick dip. You know, no shampoo. We're not shampooing our hair today.
Wow.
Okay, Katie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna,
Double sauce application, top, bottom.
Oh,
Whoa.
this is gonna clear my
all.
sinuses.
Breaking all the rules today, this guy.
Katie, you changed your whole body like she hunched down.
She did the bite. She wore the sandwich sweater, so she get.
Oh. My God.
so that's really the first thing I had when I got to Buffalo. Even before I got to the future in-laws house.
That's unbelievable. Okay, first of all, the bun is so soft, and having that salt and the caraway seeds, I got it all over me, right? All over.
It's okay.
At least I didn't get any on me, but it's still
day is young.
early.
Yeah.
And then the beef is so tender. And dipping it in that sauce just gives you this burst of flavor.
I'm putting a fast spin on a cowboy favorite with pressure cooker pulled pork sandwiches. I'm gonna brown the pork first. I'm starting with just half a batch. And I'm gonna add some seasoning while it sears. A tablespoon of salt, about half a teaspoon of black pepper, and then a teaspoon of chili powder, and a half a teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder. When I brown the second batch of the pork, I'll add seasoning then too. Okay, the second batch of pork is browned. So I'm gonna put the first batch in. This is a big bunch of pork shoulder, and it's gonna make a lot of pulled pork. Now I'm also gonna add an onion that I peeled and cut into quarters. And then I've got 5 cloves of peeled garlic, and I'll just stir it all together. Now the bottom of the insert of this pressure cooker is just completely coated in little brown bits and flavors, so I'm gonna help that along by adding 3 cups of chicken stock. Okay. Now I don't need to do another thing to this right now except just put on the lid. Set it to cook for 40 minutes on sealing. A good classic pulled pork sandwich is pretty hard to improve upon, but I'm gonna try by making a jar of pickled jalapenos and onions. These pickles add a really nice crunch, a little bit of tartness amid all of that sweet barbecue sauce. I'm gonna make the pickling liquid. I started with a cup of apple cider vinegar and a cup of water. And for a little sweetness, I'll add a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna turn this on high and heat this up pretty quickly. Okay, while the pickling liquid heats up, I'm gonna put the jalapenos and the onions into a big mason jar. I just sliced fresh jalapenos. I didn't get rid of the seeds at all. I want these pickled onions and jalapenos to be really spicy. Okay, this is just right, very, very hot. So I'm going to carefully pour this into the jar over the onions and jalapenos. Try not to drip too much on the counter. The perfect amount. I'm gonna put the lid on kind of loose since it's still really hot. Now I'm gonna let this come to room temperature and then I'll chill it for an hour and the pickles will be ready. The pressure cooker finished doing its thing and I released the pressure manually and then got the pork out of the machine and I'm just shredding it. I'm trying to get all the big chunks broken up. That looks fantastic. Now I'm gonna toss in some bottled barbecue sauce, probably about 1.5 cups. I'll just pour it over. I'm gonna take extra sauce. That is looking so good. Let me tell you how these delicious sandwiches are gonna come together. A bun, juicy pork, pickled jalapenos and onions, lid on, lunch.
ready for a win over here, okay? I'm representing the South with a West Virginia classic, a fried bologna sandwich.
It's a good sandwich.
So I'm starting off with my bologna here. You can look for the nitrate-free bologna.
Okay.
They
Yeah,
make
well,
those now.
I like nitrates.
I'm using a pork bologna. I like the flavor that's in it. My grandpa was the king of bologna sandwiches. He made them so good. Now, he always cut a little X in the center. You know, cutting slits in the bologna, it helps it not curl up. So you get all those
Center X.
nice crispy edges. And I'm just gonna put a little butter on it.
Oh, you need butter, man.
Really
you gotta have butter,
expensive
right?
these days, butter. I
Yep,
don't know.
and then I'm gonna just throw my bologna right on there.
Jeff, I gotta tell you, every time Katie dips into Grandpa's repertoire,
She does well.
she comes through with fire. So I know you started strong, but she might
Listen,
be the finisher,
I guess
the
if
strongest finisher in the game.
If I get beaten by, someone who did their shopping at a gas station,
Whoa.
then I guess I was
Whoa.
All right, guys, so there's a lot of debate. Some people like to do yellow mustard on
That's
their
right.
bologna. Other people like mayonnaise. So I'm doing both on this
Whoa,
sandwich.
that's radical.
Yeah, one side of the bologna sandwich is gonna have the mayo, the other side is gonna have yellow mustard. And in my opinion, it needs to be yellow mustard. None of this fancy Dijon stuff going on. I just want the old school, I want that vinegary, acidy taste.
A gas station mustard.
Okay.
It's from the pack, from the, is this from?
Oh my God, yes,
Oh, my
Katie.
Lord.
Here we go. And I'm just gonna throw some
On that, oh
cheese
my
right
God.
on there.
Yeah, I think I invented this move.
Yeah, let's
sure.
get
Season
our
2 of
cheese
sandwich.
going.
How is Katie not fatter? Genetics? Genetics.
All right, I'm gonna just mush this all up here. There we go.
Oh, she's doing it.
Got a Sandwich King skills implemented here in
All
your
right.
sandwich construction. I'm just saying.
Jeff invented sandwiches too.
Oh.
All right, so here we go.
This is crazy. You know, it was
Build
so
this
crazy.
sandwich.
If I made this, the hood would not let me come back to the hood.
Why?
Because this is legit real. This is cooking for real right here on the kitchen, y'all.
Now I'm gonna take some barbecue potato chips to give us a little texture. Like so.
A lot
You know
of.
when you have the barbecue potato chips on the side and you take a bite and you take a bite? Now I'm gonna add some shredded iceberg lettuce.
Totally.
Give it a little bit more crunch.
She's throwing you under the bus here.
I love
on
it.
here. All
going on.
right,
She's going
and
right at
now
you.
for the key ingredient.
bologna
Have you
bus.
guys ever heard of chow chow?
Yes.
I have, yes, yeah.
All right, so chow chow, there's a northern version, a southern version. Northern version has more veggies in it. Southern version is mostly cabbage and some peppers. There's sweet or there's hot. I'm using the sweet. It's like a relish, so there's a good amount of acid in here that's gonna go great with that fat of the bologna. And we always had a jar of chow chow. Sometimes my grandma would make it homemade. You can buy it in the store, you can buy it online, but this is great, like, on a piece of grilled fish, on a piece of grilled chicken, on your roast beef like Jeff had.
Hey,
It's
listen,
kind of like a southern.
Leave my beef out of it.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
This is my spicy chicken sandwich. Thank you. Thank you. I've already dropped some. I'm going to show you how to do it. So, Jeezy, I want you to make what is the marinade and will also become part of the dredge at the end, okay? So that's buttermilk, some hot sauce, and you know my favorite ingredient, hot Hungarian paprika. Whisk it all together.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got my chicken breast here. Now, first secret here is there's so many nooks and crannies and craggles in that chicken breast, and I would argue it's the biggest chicken breast I've ever seen at a fast food
It's big.
location.
It's big.
So the way we create that
It's
love.
a real breast to the whole breast?
It's a whole breast, GZ. It's crazy. You take some kitchen shears, you take your chicken breast, and just kind of give it some personality.
Now, I've never heard of that
Cut
technique.
some cuts in there because we want some of that breading and the batter to get in there and create some nice craggles, I like to call them.
Yeah, for sure.
So just create moments that can happen that are gonna give you some craggles. Now, don't go too far, and you don't have to go all the way through. So look, you see what I've done here? Just about 6 or 7 cuts, you know, maybe 8 around it. Create those little nooks and crannies.
Scientific.
Right into our batter or our marinade. It's gonna become a batter in a minute. Now, you refrigerate this overnight or leave it on your countertop for 2 hours, okay? If you do refrigerate this, make sure before you go to fry it that you put it on the countertop for 2 hours so it gets room temp.
Okay.
All right?
And I bet the cutting of it too helps it cook more evenly because that one end is so plump and then you have the tapered end, so it kind of
Exactly. It
matches up.
allows some of that oil to get in there and bring it to the right temperature. That's right, Jeff. You know what's up.
I know. It's
All right.
science.
So, these are the marinated chicken breasts. Taking them out of the marinade, that's just, remember, buttermilk, hot sauce, and the hot Hungarian paprika. And a lot of people have been to the fast food place. This looks really familiar because when you bite into their fried chicken, there's that pink layer of seasoned
so
love.
that's what it is.
All right, so look what's happening here. This is going into a bowl of flour.
Oh.
And then added to that, we're gonna do some baking powder, some cornstarch, and a little bit of water, only if needed. So start, you know, giving this a nice little whisk. And if it's a pancake consistency, leave it. If you need a little bit more water to loosen it, then you're gonna add that in. And I would say we probably need a little bit more water. It all depends how much of your marinade is left over. And just patting these dry, okay? Getting as much off as we can. And then a little bit more water.
Yes,
just
chef.
a little bit more.
It's all about the pickle, in my opinion.
A little bit more.
The pickle.
The
Because
pickle-
the pickle with the fried,
I also think the
and
bun.
then the bun.
Yeah.
And I would argue that this pickle at this establishment, oh, look at that. So the pickle at this
Wow.
establishment is just not even a typical pickle.
No.
It's a little bit thicker and has a little bit more chew to it.
So it's your atypical pickle?
It's the atypical pickle. All right, so I'm just gonna get a nice internal on this.
160?
You see that right
Perfection.
there? 159.
Perfection.
It's good to take it out right now because that carryover temperature and cooking is gonna get it to that 160, 165. Now, I like to kind of keep this on crumpled up paper instead of flat. Yeah, Jeezy.
Yeah.
Hit it with a little bit of salt right as it comes
Right
out.
there.
And then I'm just gonna show you how to dredge and get these in. All right, so chicken breasts, dried off. They're wet. So I'm gonna go into some flour.
This is like lunacy, right?
Yeah.
In a good way.
This
Look
is
at
creating the craggles. You need the
Craggle.
crunchy, you need the craggle crunch, you
This
need all
is
of
as
that.
close as Jeffrey's ever getting to a fast food restaurant.
Right? Into,
No, I saw him at one in the drive-thru last night in Jersey. He was
He
wearing
does it in secret.
Yeah.
into our batter,
Just like that? You
just
fry
like
it?
that. Back into the flour.
Oh, you're doing a
Back in the
crusty
triple.
crust.
Triple
double
apple
it
paste.
up.
Flour.
This
These
is-
are the tricks. These are the tricks the restaurants, the fast food places are doing.
But it's nice to see. I mean, if you're gonna have food, make it good food. That's
Exactly.
Fast, not
And
just
right
fast.
into the oil. That's peanut oil. You can also do a vegetable oil if you like, and that'll work. So I'll put one together for you. It's not gonna be too bad. You do want it kind of like right when you got it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we've got the buns. They are buttered.
That's what I'm
brioche
talking
buns,
about.
all right?
Buttered and toasted.
What's the mayo?
So the mayo is very simple. It's just some mayonnaise and a little bit of that sauce from the Chipotle and adobo in that little tiny can. You only need to scoop out like a little bit, like a teaspoon for half a cup of mayo. You don't want to blow your lid off. So
I love mayonnaise. I mean,
Jeff?
to me, it's like mayonnaise on a fried chicken sandwich.
It's really the only thing. There's certain things I'll eat mayonnaise on. One's like a club sandwich, like crispy bacon and iceberg, and others a fried chicken sandwich. Otherwise, I need to have like flavoring in it.
all right, now I always ask for extra pickles. So
Me
I'm just gonna give you, yes, I'll give you 4,
Yes.
1 per quadrant.
You know, the other good thing about when you are at the fast food and you ask for extra pickles, then they make it fresh.
Yes, they do.
They
That
sure
is
Not
do.
sitting there
that
in
is
the
a
lineup.
no.
That's a
always.
trick. Look at that, right on top.
Look at that.
A little bit more.
I mean, that's for like 2 people, no?
No, that's one person. And
Not possible.
we didn't even drive away. We sat in the parking lot and ate that
Yeah, but that's
sandwich
so much
both
food.
times. Like, we are not taking that baby home.
Jeffrey, have we met?
Now, then,
Yes.
you gotta, just like the place, you gotta get it into a pouch. Then I'm gonna close it
I'm
up and
feeling
give it
this.
to you.
I'm feeling it.
And that kind of
you go.
steams
Love
up the
it.
bun
That
and
steams
everything.
up the bun, keeps everything
You
nice and
give me a
warm.
napkin. I'm gonna need it.
You need
Yeah,
a
give
chicken
her a
bit for
napkin.
this.
This is you gotta put
Yeah,
your
you
hair
need
back. Yeah.
Here, can I help you with this one?
Yeah, you can help me with that one, get that out. And there you
not out.
have it. It's
Not
my
ready yet,
spicy
right?
chicken sandwich, y'all. Forget waiting.
I mean, look at that
That's
thing
it.
of
You got the
beauty.
thick
Here
end
we
and
go.
the tapered end.
You got the thick and the tapered, crunchy goodness.
Stunning.
Is it close?
It's better.
What?
It's so crunchy and juicy on the inside. It's perfectly cooked. And the pickles, and I'm telling you, that soft, buttered, toasted bun, it's toasted to perfection. This is a real thing of beauty here.
I don't think there's a restaurant in America that doesn't have a chicken Caesar salad on the menu. I'd like to take something really traditional and do it with a twist. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to take the croutons and put it on the outside? So I'm gonna make a chicken Caesar salad sandwich. So I'm gonna start with ciabatta, and I'm gonna put it on a sheet tray and bake it at 350 for about 5 to 7 minutes until it's just a little toasted. Next thing is the pancetta. So I'm gonna take 8 slices of pancetta and just put them out in a single layer on a sheet tray. And I'm gonna bake it along with the ciabatta until it's nice and crisp like bacon. Okay, last 2 pieces. Into the oven, 350 degrees. This one for 5 to 7 minutes, this one for 15. I cooked some chicken for the sandwich. Actually, I find this is such a great way to do it. It's on the bone with the skin on, olive oil, salt and pepper, 350 degrees, 35 minutes. It's really moist. Perfect. So the best part of this sandwich is the garlicky Caesar dressing that I'm gonna make for it. First, I'm gonna start with garlic. Right into the food processor. Okay, next, 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley. Okay, that's about 2 tablespoons. Right in the food processor. Next thing is anchovy paste, critical for Caesar dressing. 1½ teaspoons. Anchovy paste gives this really great flavor. 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Just process that until the garlic and the parsley are minced. Great. Okay, now some lemon juice. About 1½ tablespoons. Okay. 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. Okay, just make a nice smooth sauce. And that's Caesar dressing. So first, I'm gonna slather this sandwich. And the toasted bread really is gonna absorb all this great sauce. Okay, time to layer the sandwich. First, I'm gonna start with a layer of baby arugula, if you can find it. It's nice and peppery, it's great with this. Okay, the next thing is sun-dried tomatoes. This is gonna make about 5 or 6 sandwiches. The next thing is Parmesan cheese. I think it's so much nicer if you have like a whole slice of it. Right on top. Next is the cooked pancetta, right down the middle. So the next thing is the chicken. So I'm just gonna take the skin off. And then I'm just gonna slice it and put it right on the sandwich. Okay, right onto the sandwich. It's right down the middle. Okay, a little salt and pepper. Right on top of the chicken. And pepper. The last thing is some arugula right on top. Put the top on and just slice it in sandwiches. Oof, this is gonna be really good. I don't know if we'll get any work done. It'll be delicious. We're all gonna need a nap instead of getting any work done. We can get this one on. Perfect. So the thing that's so amazing about these is the layers of flavors and textures. The chicken has a double crust, so it's really crispy. And the sauce is made with buttermilk and mayonnaise, so it's kind of tangy. And fresh herbs, so it's really fresh. So good. And then there are pickles involved. So I'm gonna make the sauce first. So I've got a cup of mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons of buttermilk. I wanna be sure to shake it first, which I did. Just whisk it in. teaspoon of white wine vinegar just to give it a little tang. I'm gonna whisk that together and then put in lots of fresh herbs. Okay, first the scallions. I need 2 tablespoons of sliced or chopped scallions, the white and the green parts. I think a lot of people use a knife by just doing it up and down, but it's really good to use the blade and have it sort of rock back and forth, and then you get the best use of it. And the scallions cut really cleanly. Okay, so 2 tablespoons, that's about 2 tablespoons. 1 tablespoon of minced chives. Got lots of onion flavor. I love chives. Okay, it's about 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of minced parsley. This recipe actually originally came from Shake Shack, which is Danny Meyer's fast casual hamburger restaurant. And what's interesting is I was thinking about making fried chicken with a double coating, but I'd never actually gotten around to doing it. And that's exactly what they do with the Shake Shack chicken. So I thought, I think I'll try that. And it was amazing. So 1 tablespoon of parsley, just stir it in. Okay, a little bit of thyme. All kinds of herbs in this. I'm just gonna strip it right in, just a little bit. Give it another layer of flavor. Half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and that's it. So that's the herb mayonnaise. Now I'm gonna show you the chicken, which I'm keeping warm in the oven. Wait till you see this. Now, how good does that look? Wow. Chicken inside is really tender and crispy outside. I'm gonna tell you how I made it. This is the best. There are 4 tricks to the fried chicken. First, a great marinade with 2 cups of buttermilk. The acidity tenderized the chicken. 1 sliced shallot, 2 smashed garlic cloves, 1 half jalapeno pepper, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1 teaspoon of pepper, all stirred together. I put the chicken in the marinade and coated it. It's 6 halved chicken breasts flattened to 1/2 inch, which tenderizes them and ensures that they cook evenly. Then I put them in the fridge for 8 hours for the marinade to get into the meat and to flavor it. Next, I made a flavorful coating mix. I added 4 teaspoons of baking powder to 3½ cups of all-purpose flour, along with 2½ teaspoons of smoked paprika, a teaspoon each of cayenne pepper, and celery salt, a tablespoon of kosher salt, 1½ teaspoons of black pepper, and whisk them all together. Then the third trick is that I double dip the chicken. I removed each piece of chicken from the marinade, dipped it in the flour, back into the marinade, and then back into the flour. And I promise this makes all the difference in the world. Then the fourth and final trick is how I cook it. I fry the chicken 3 pieces at a time. You don't want to overcrowd them. In 2 inches of oil, heated to 350 degrees. I cooked them for 5 minutes, flipping them halfway through. Then, when they were deliciously crispy, I put them on a rack over a sheet pan and kept them warm in a 250-degree oven while I fried the second batch. I did exactly the same with the last 3 pieces. I took the fried chicken out of the oil, put it on the rack, sprinkled on some salt, and kept all the chicken warm in the oven. Those tricks really make a difference. Okay, now I'm gonna put the sandwich together, which in the business is known as flavor build, as in where you put everything in the sandwich makes a difference in how it tastes. Bet you didn't know that. So first I'm gonna take the hamburger bun. I'm using potato buns, which I think have great flavor. I toasted them a little, 300 degrees for about 10 minutes. Put sauce on the bottom. Next I'm gonna put a piece of lettuce. I'm using Boston lettuce because it's really tender and delicious. Piece of lettuce. And then pickles. These are really good pickles, like 4 pieces of pickle. So it turns out where you put the pickle in the sandwich makes a difference in how it tastes. I don't know why the order makes a difference in how it tastes, but it just does. Okay, next is the chicken. Oh, look how good this is. Right on top, just barely fits. And then more sauce on the bun. and put that on top. And that's a Shake Shack chicken sandwich. And that one's got my name on it. Okay, that's one. I'm gonna make 5 more. Well, you can see why these are Jeffrey's favorite chicken sandwich. Mine too. And if you make them, they're gonna be your favorite chicken sandwich.
This bad boy right here, this is a buttermilk brined turkey breast, bone in, skin on, going into the oven, 325 for about an hour, hour and 15 minutes. I cooked this turkey off, little bit underdone, let it cool, sliced it, now throw it on the grill to get some really, get a little char on it, a little more texture. Look at those. There's just something about roasting it, then grilling it, and that's gonna come together. This is kind of like the California version of the great Louisiana po' boy. Here we go. Oh. The remoulade is so nice. I mean, we're talking about if you're gonna put mayonnaise on there, you know I call mayonnaise food lube all the time. You're gonna put some food lube, fortify it, really give it some flavor. Let's get some pepperoncinis. Again, some tomatoes. What a crowd pleaser this is gonna be. Where's my top? There's my top, okay. Get that lettuce right on top of there. And then some of the grilled turkey. Look at those big, juicy pieces. And I'm telling you, the buttermilk that this was marinated in, okay, when it got to do that buttermilk brine, stacked across the top, over. Should be wrapping that in some wax paper right now, some butcher paper. Look at that. Does that look great or what? Ready? Outstanding. Huge bite. I mean, I say big bite. That was a big one. So Hunter's working on some parsley right now, and I'm busting out a little bit of basil. I just knocked out some oregano. And what we've got going here, well, some cooled down veggies going for some meatballs for the Hunter's hero. Now, what he did earlier, Hunter took the inside of the sourdough bread, soaked it in some milk. Now I want you to squeeze them, get the milk out of it. They'll still hold on to a little bit of milk.
Like
and put those into there, okay? All right, I'll hold these herbs here because these are gonna be going in with this mixture. Okay, now I'm gonna put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and I'm gonna add these veggies, which I also put a little salt and pepper into, but I'm gonna put these veggies down. Now we've got some garlic in here, red bell pepper, and some red onion. Point, hit it. No shell. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, so we've got the veggies in there. Let me get a little bit of Parmesan. Hunter, go ahead and crack open that ground beef and Italian sausage. Now the bulk Italian sausage and the ground beef, well, you get some different texture, some different flavor. My idea with the ground beef, I think the fat really helps it out, but you can't beat Italian sausage when you're talking about meatballs, okay? Got it? Throw it right in. Okay, right in on top. I've got Parmesan cheese, red onions, red bell pepper, garlic, everybody in here. Little parsley, little oregano, and then I've got some sourdough bread that's soaked in some milk. Now, how's that look?
Okay.
Now, I want you to grab about a handful, about that big.
Okay. And stick it in the pan?
Not pressing it too hard. You press it too hard when they cook, you'll cook the fat right out.
Okay.
So there we go. Let me crank up my heat. It's already got some fat in here. I might need to add a little bit more. Now what we've got here is some meatballs that have some pork and some ground beef. Hunter helped chop it all up and mix it together. We got some breadcrumbs, or actually some sourdough bread that was soaked in milk to really put in some nice moisture. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Prime time. Okay, let's lay some cheese down. And what we're gonna do, we kind of canoed out these hoagie rolls. And what I mean by canoeing them out is cut them down the center and took the bread out. I don't need any extra bread. I don't know about you. But we canoed them out and then lay the meatballs right down inside, hit them with a little cheese on top, a little sliced mozzarella. Okay. Now, let me pop these under the broiler just for a couple minutes to brown this cheese up because the meatballs are already done. Actually, you know what? I'm a little scared. I'll go down low, but set it up high. Tell me those aren't the bad boys right there.
Oh.
Which one? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo? This one?
I'll take this one.
This one or that one?
This one.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one I made.
Now watch yourself, boo. These are going to be super duper hot, okay? Throw yours on your plate right there. Can you get a bite on that?
I don't think right now.
No? You think it's too hot? Bite it on the bottom, not where the cheese is.
Okay.
Like this. My little sister Morgan, who I love so much, taught me to appreciate the vegetarian side of things, to understand that Well, there's a lot of big flavor and there's some delicious sandwiches and they don't have to have meat. And that's what we're making today. We're making a fried oyster mushroom burger. You're gonna love it. I know you're shaking your head right now saying, come on, guy, I want some tacos, I want some pizza, I want a big pastrami sandwich, I want that burger that you always do at Guy's Burger Joint. Trust me, once you try this, once you get a bite of this, it's gonna change your game. Let's start things up. I'll grab this. I always wreck the cookie drying racks. I'm gonna take these scallions and I'm gonna make this charred scallion mayo. Now, I had a version of this fried mushroom sandwich on a Triple D joint down in San Diego, and I'm gonna tell you what, I don't think I'll ever be able to do as good as they did. You got my favorite things going on here. You got the acid, you got the salt, and you got the heat. I would eat one of those every day. This is kind of my interpretation, okay? So we'll throw this down, char up these scallions. While that's working, we have a little donkey sauce. Of course, in the Fieri house, we always have donkey sauce. And this is simply just some mayonnaise, some garlic, some Worcestershire, black pepper, and a little bit of mustard. You can't beat it. So we'll char these real quick. There we go, that's hot. While that's working, I've got oil coming up. My oil is screaming hot right now. It's at 400 plus, and I'm gonna be frying, so I want that at what temperature at home? Exactly, 350 degrees. I'm gonna take this a little bit higher because these mushrooms are gonna be kind of thin and they're gonna go off really fast. I wanna put a really nice hard crunch on them, but typically 350 would be where we'd wanna be. Scallions, nice and hot, great flavor. Into the donkey sauce, give it a little stir. That's the beginning. Okay, Fresno chili, nice and thin. If you can't get them thin enough like this, go ahead and get the mandolin out. Nice thin Fresno chili. We'll get a little cabbage. Again, another great time to have the mandolin. This is gonna be a nice, light, crunchy slaw that's gonna go right on top of this. Okay, a little purple cabbage. If you're not gonna use all the cabbage, don't cut it all up. Just gonna sit there and dry out in your fridge. Okay, all that's done. Into a bowl, we'll get a little rice vinegar, seasoned rice vinegar, a little mustard. You got all these ingredients, right? This is simple. I mean, this is about, and if you don't have the seasoned rice vinegar, use apple cider vinegar. Touch of some salt, a little cracked black pepper, a little olive oil. You know what I'm gonna do? A little garlic. See how I'm improvising? That's the beauty about this dish. You can make this your flavor, your style. I'm taking it a little bit into the Asian element right now, but if you want to throw barbecue sauce on this, you could. Drop in the cabbages, the Fresno chili, great color in that. Throw a little bit of the scallion. Boom. Give this a mix. Okay? Now the mushrooms, if I have my choice, it's gonna be what's the freshest mushroom and what looks the best. We have these beautiful oyster mushrooms. Now you can see how they've grown, okay? We're gonna take this bottom off here, and they're probably gonna start to come apart on us a little bit. That's fine. We're gonna take them and pull them apart a bit and dredge them in some flour. Come on over. You with me? I'd take the bling off. I'll be washing this for a week. AP flour, rice flour. Very simple. Just gonna take the mushrooms, break them into a couple pieces, give them a little dredge just so some flour will stick to their natural moisture that they have. A little bit more. Now, I gotta grab a couple eggs. We're gonna make a tempura flour, real quick and easy tempura flour right here. So the shell's not supposed to go in there. There's two, but this is where we're really gonna change everything, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna take this ice and this seltzer, and this is what's gonna create the nice light airiness. One, the cold, and two, the carbonation, okay? So these are cold, but I'm also gonna add them to the ice. So first we'll mix up the eggs into the flour. Now we'll come over here with just a little bit of the seltzer water. Start to see that batter forming up. I'm using this baking dish because it'll keep the temperature without letting this get too hot. Matter of fact, if you can start off with it cold. The whole key to this is, to making this tempura, is to really make sure that this batter stays cold. If you don't want to use the egg, you don't have to. The main principle of the egg is for some really nice color. And I just keep adding it as I need it. I didn't do real set measurements. A little bit lumpy like pancake batter. And like I said, super, super cold. And if you keep this cold, like if you want to do multiple batches of this, you throw it back in the freezer, you're gonna be real happy. It's that reaction that happens from going to super, super cold, bound to the mushrooms, to going into the hot oil that's gonna create that expansion. See how excited I got about that? Looking for it to be just about like pancake batter. Okay? Fantastic. Let's come over here, get all this frying going at one time. I'm making such a mess. All right, over we go. Drop the mushrooms in. We're still screaming too hot. Hang on a second. This is where we'll make the big mistake. If we don't get this temperature correct, we're just gonna send ourselves into frying the outside of it and being raw in the center. So the best way to do this is to add a little more oil. There we go. You see it start to drop right there? Awesome. We're right about 375. Bring them right over. Give them a little shake, making sure we don't put too much batter in. And we drop them right in. Now, maitake mushrooms are awesome for this. Whatever your favorite mushroom is. Oh, this is gonna be dynamite. And this with the cold, crunchy slaw and a little bit of that roasted scallion donkey sauce. Make sure I didn't leave anybody behind. Okay. This is super critical. Nice spider. Oh, look at this. Nice, big, crunchy puff. You see the puff going on with that? That's because of the cold. That's because of the carbonation. While that goes, get a little garlic butter. I believe that whenever we're using bread, and again, we don't get to eat it as often as we love to, make sure you're using something really good and also treat it. I think that just giving it a little bit of, giving it a little appreciation, of putting a little garlic butter on this, giving it a little toast, building some of that flavor, building some of that texture. Okay. Go down with those two. Mushrooms are almost done, and you can already see how it's puffing up so nice. And if you don't want the bun, just this with some slaw on, it's gonna be done. A nice meaty mushroom. Going on a little bit of tang of the acid that we have in there from that seasoned vinegar from the slaw. Ciabatta has toasted off nicely. I like to get both sides of it. One of the things about when we're cooking is having the setup. Being ready ahead of time for what you need, when you're gonna need it, keeps you from running around trying to find something and coming back and it's burnt. Look at these beautiful mushrooms. Nice, light, crispy. Let these cool down just a touch. Excellent, okay? Get in a little bit of that scallion donkey sauce or the scallion mayo. Touch on top. And again, you don't want to do this. You don't want to get into the mayo. You can make a vegan mayo. I've had some fantastic vegan mayos. We're out there, Triple D. I'm finding all these great vegan restaurants that are coming up. Give that a shot. I mean, if you really want to take it hardcore like that, you totally can. Then we'll grab some of the slaw. Wrong side. There we go. Oh, yeah. Just gonna give that fry just a little touch of some salt. Fried food loves its salt. A little lemon juice, just a little kiss, little acid to that fry. Oh, yeah. I've been dying to make this for you. You want to make this. You know you do. So simple, so easy, so straightforward. Besides the frying part of me, I guess you could roast the mushrooms, but come on, once in a while we can indulge. Your favorite mushroom, tempura battered, Asian slaw, a garlic butter ciabatta, all put together with a little roasted scallion aioli? Come on. It's crunchy, it's salty, it's got great acidity, it's rich with the scallion mayo, It's meaty. It's definitely meaty. When you try this at home, don't tell your friends that it's mushroom. Don't make a big deal about it. Just say, hey, made this sandwich. What is it? Is it chicken? As far as you know. Let them get into it. I promise you, they take a bite of that, they're never gonna know that it's mushroom. You're gonna love this recipe. Download it now. See you guys next week. Adios. And let's fire this pan up. I'm gonna get the pan started, and we're gonna do it. We're doing a white onion with a little bit of margarine. Okay, there we go. Now, where's my margarine? There we go. Make sure that I don't have too much heat going on this thing because that margarine will go real fast. No, we're fine. All right, there we go. I'm gonna get these onions in, get them down, let those start working. I'm gonna hit some spices into it. A little paprika, a couple tablespoons of that. I'm gonna get it in now so I can make sure I can get it evenly mixed all the way around. Okay. A couple tablespoons of that. Some chili powder. Funny thing, chili powder, it's not just chili. There's all kinds of different ingredients in it. Cumin's in it, ground chili, coriander, clove, all in there. So a couple tablespoons of that also. Okay. And then a little allspice, which is not a bunch of different spices. It's actually a berry, but it tastes like the coriander, nutmeg, cinnamon. Just half a teaspoon on this. You can see I have that great measuring technique with just shaking it in there. But kind of, you get your own feel for how it works. And a little bit of curry. Okay, so that all mixes together. And now I got some ground beef, some 80-20 ground beef. You know what? 80-20 means 80% meat, 20% fat. Okay, we get that in. All right, now, if you'll notice, when I put this meat in, it didn't start to sizzle like it's all hot because I'm just really slowly cooking this. I've got to add a little bit of water to it. Helps break it down a little bit, helps with the texture and the consistency. And wow, you should smell all those spices coming out. Outstanding, and I give it a little bit more heat because now the water's gonna kind of keep it from browning and it's gonna help kind of stew it and kind of steam it down. So let me get some dry mustard in here. Just a touch. Putting this in now because I want to let this flavor stand out a little bit more. So about a teaspoon of that and some cinnamon too. Okay. Look at those. Nice skinny hot dogs. This works great so you don't have too much dog going on and too much bun and don't get to try a chance to try the sauce. Cut those bad boys open. Nice rolling, simmering boil water. Hot going down. Little rack on top. Now here's one of the keys to this is we want to make sure that these buns get a chance to steam. Not going to put them in the oven and let them get all crispy. These we want to actually sit here and steam. So the small wieners go with the small buns. I'm doing it all right. Get these loaded up. We've got allspice in here, paprika, chili powder, mustard, cinnamon, all going on. Some chopped onions. Now these are really finely chopped. There we go. And then we're gonna hit it with a little mustard, a little bit of celery salt, okay? Make sure the top's on, because I've had it dump all over. All right, so we got a little bit on there, just shake a little bit on, and this is how it's done. But this is gonna tell the tape right here. Hit your number in Vegas, and one of my boys is gonna yell, "Winner, winner, chicken dinner." Well, I've got your winner today, chicken patty burgers. Now, wait a second, when did chicken burgers become cool? Oh yeah, right now. You get the taste of that two-handed monster you love from the drive-in, but it's gonna be healthy at the same time. Red onions, black olives, jalapenos, garlic, paprika, even some artichoke, all tossed into this burger. Now, key items to this. One, we gotta do a lot of fine dice. Yeah, you could bring in a mandolin or you could bring in a little chopper, or if you have like all my buddies at my house and have them do all the prep work, that's even nice. Sharp knife's gonna be key. Red bell pepper, red onion, jalapeno. I've got some garlic. These are all my key ingredients. Let me get this pan heated up. Now, I made this patty thinking about the healthier sides, eating a big burger, but you know what? So many times it's all about the beef chicken. It seems to be a little bit healthier. I mean, it's really kind of the chicken movement these days, and I've had chicken patties and they've been dried out. I think you're gonna be happy with how juicy. Look at all the veggies going in this. It's gonna be tight. Let me get these started. A lot of choppy chop, I know, but I tell you something, it's so worth it. Look at the flavors going in there. The artichoke hearts, the garlic, the peppers, the onions, you're gonna love it. A little extra virgin olive oil. And I'm gonna get some heat up on this pan. Now, I don't really want to caramelize these vegetables. I want to kind of let them sit there and sweat out a little bit. I want the flavor, I want them to be tender, still want to see their color. There we go, that's the sound I love. Actually, make this easy. Back, and everybody in the pool. There we go. Now, not gonna put real big heat on this. Throw just a little bit of a toss. Look at the colors, look at the medley right there. I mean, this could almost go into a veggie patty right there, but that's a different show, okay? Hit a little black pepper. There we go. One of the most key items you can have in your kitchen, a pepper grinder. I have one with the black pepper and one with the white pepper, very key. And a little bit of salt. That'll help sweat them out a bit, okay. Chicken doesn't always get that respect, you know? It does in the chicken breast or barbecue chicken, but how do you make a patty and not dry it out? All these veggies, which I've sauteed here and let cool down, this is all gonna be big flavor. There we go. So about 1.5 pounds of chicken goes in there. 1 egg. This will work as part of the binder. Add some moisture also into it. There we go. We're gonna get these veggies that I've cooled down. Now, what have I got here? I got some red bell pepper, some red onion, some garlic, some olives, and believe it or not, artichoke hearts. Okay, and there's just a little bit of jalapeno that I took the seeds and the ribs out of. I want that jalapeno flavor, but I don't want too much big bite going into this. Okay. There we go. Now let's put some of the supporting characters in there, a little bit of salt, cracked black pepper, and let's do this dance. Little ground sage, kind of chicken's best friend. We'll put just a little shake, about a 1/4 teaspoon in there. A little cumin for that nice smoky flavor. People think cumin could just go in, like, you know, you find it a lot of time in Mexican food, but it really translates into all different types of ethnic foods. Red pepper flake, again, can be big heat, but since we're gonna let this mix together and set a bit, it's not gonna be these little nuggets of fire. So we'll just give a touch of those. There we go. Celery salt, chicken salad sandwiches. Celery, come on, hand in hand. There we go. A little chili powder. Get my chili powder and my paprika messed up, I got a concern. Here it is, Hungarian paprika. This is the hot one, not super hot, but it's got a little bit more than that smoky. Actually, that might be hot. And a little bit of oregano. Okay. Now I'm gonna mix this thoroughly. Okay, get that together. Oh, I gotta get this is the best buddy right here. These are the breadcrumbs. Seasoned or not seasoned, that's kind of your choice. If you can make your own, I love to make them out of sourdough, works dynamite. Okay, so the egg works as the binder, the parsley, nice, bright, fresh flavor. The breadcrumbs work as a binder, and then these veggies, well, that's just the flavor super kicker. Mix that all together like that. Now, this is kind of a neat technique about working with chicken and making this patty. You grab one of these, you buy them, you get olives at the store. You have these containers kind of laying around. Before you throw them away next time, take this, throw some plastic wrap on top, kind of divide your chicken mixture here into quarters, and throw that chicken mixture right in the center, like that. Fold it over. There, give it a little press around the sides. Take a look at that. Your chicken patty's already done and made for you. There's one, I gotta knock out the rest. This is gonna be my chicken patties. Now, some chicken patties have been doing time here in the fridge. So what is the chicken patty? Well, it's got practically the whole garden of vegetables in there, some thigh meat and some breast meat. So it's got the big flavor as well as the healthy side of things. That's gonna go in, gonna make a dollop there in a second, but let's look at these patties. Pan's nice and hot. A little bit of olive oil. There we go. Now, the chicken patties have a tendency to fall apart a little bit, but I did put some binder in there. I got some breadcrumbs, some eggs, again, all those fresh veggies, a little bit of Hungarian paprika, a little bit of heat there. So I'll unfold these. If I don't want to use them all, I can freeze them right there in the plastic wrap. And let's see here. I try to keep the plastic from getting in the pan. Oh, nice sizzle. There's one down. And these needed some time to let the flavors get together as well as set up. If I don't mess with the patties too much, they won't sit there and start to break apart. But this is kind of a mixture that you find in Asian food, Italian food. This, I'm trying to make it kind of like the all-American big burger food. About a 6-ounce patty, little olives in there, you can see. They're always quick to the handle on that one. I can already smell the big flavor coming out of it. There we go. All kinds of veggies, garlic, peppers. Everybody's worked into that. Bound it together with a little bit of egg and some breadcrumbs. Tons of seasonings. Hungarian paprika. Let's go with a little ketchup and mustard. I like that. That's a big bite tomato. And pop some lettuce on there. Pimento cheese stuffed burger on a toasted brioche bun, stacked high with a fried heirloom tomato, homemade ranch dressing, crispy bacon, and a cabbage slaw. The key to great pimento cheese is starting off with great cheese. So I've got some cheddar here, about half and half. The white and yellow cheddar looks good. Now we'll get in with the pimentos. Now, you can make your own pimentos, you can buy your pimentos, you can add as many as you want. I'm gonna go with maybe a half a cup. Touch of some salt. Pepper, a little bit of cayenne. Again, this is kind of where you want to go with it. Cream cheese, a little mayo, and a little Dijon. It's just going to pulse it, bring it together, scooping this out, just getting a roll on it, give it a little twist, right like that, voila, okay? Take this, lay it down in the fridge. Little dill. Let's get into this. Little buttermilk. Some sour cream. Little mayo. Now, before I bring in the spices, let me grab a little bit of sugar. Gotta have a little bit of that sweet. Okay, offsetting some of the big spices that are coming in right now. Okay, let's start off with a little garlic. Little onion powder. And some smoked paprika. Let me get a touch of some salt and some black pepper. Now, a little cayenne, just a touch of heat. There we go, okay? Now this is the real kicker. This is what makes everything that you love about ranch dressing really comes from this, and that's the dill. About 3 tablespoons. There we go. Give it a little whisk. That's exactly what we're looking for. Seeing that nice, beautiful green just studded throughout that. All right, let me cover this up real quick. There we go. Okay, this goes down in the fridge. So here's the next piece. We're gonna talk about green tomatoes, fried green tomatoes. It's something you see in the South everywhere you go, but I couldn't find any green ones. So, well, I just went with a really nice, firm heirloom tomato. But nonetheless, it's gonna be fantastic. So putting it into a dredge here, first start off with a little flour with a little granulated garlic, then went into a little buttermilk and egg with a little salt and pepper, and then some fine cornmeal here with a little salt and pepper. Set this aside, just gonna put that down, unwrap it. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna make 4 burgers, but 8 patties. So the first thing I'm gonna do is cut that in half. Dividing that equally into 4, okay? Now I'll just divide this one, that one. Now everybody's got kind of an equal amount, right? Here's what we do. Take the patty, not pressing it too hard. Nice patty, firm edges. Doing this ahead of time. See this little move that I'm doing here with my thumb? Check this out. So I take the patty and then I'm bringing my thumb in to really establish the edge. So I'm not having this little flimsy edge where it's kind of just tapering off. And those are the ones when you cook them and they just kind of end up falling into the fire. Okay, here we go. So there's one done. Here we go, we'll grab some of the pimento cheese, drop it right in the center. Now, bring in the other one over, right on top, mirroring it. Gonna give it a little pinch, bring in the meat together, and then back to that same little technique that I just did, where I'm gonna come and establish the edge again. So really brought them together, really formed them together, kind of pushed it, and then straight across. It's even in the middle. Drop the burger. Now, Normally, when you've seen Guy's Big Bite, I'm pressing burgers. You go to Guy's Burger Joint on Carnival Cruise Line, I'm pressing burgers. You go to Guy's Vegas, I'm pressing burgers. But when it comes to a stuffed burger, we're gonna treat it nice and delicate so we don't break it open, so we don't lose all the surprise inside. Not overcrowding it. 4 would be the max I'd wanna do. Simply just a little bit of salt. And then when I flip it, I'll season the other side. Now we'll go ahead. There we go, those are the bubbles that I'm looking for. Again, don't crowd it. You're gonna drop that oil temperature. Now we're gonna talk about the buns. Nice brioche bun. Everybody's so conscious about eating all those carbs and eating the bread and so forth. I'll tell you what, when you're gonna do it right. Now I've got some roasted garlic butter here. Just gonna brush that on. Now let's talk about bacon. So here's the method. Take the bacon and just shingle it a little bit, okay? And we're gonna go from a cold pan, cold bacon, throw it in the oven, and we're gonna get those nice, uniform, evenly cooked pieces of bacon that we love that we find in restaurants. Okay, so this goes, lay it down. So here's the game plan. Take this, pop it in the oven, should be about 350. It'll give us beautiful bacon. And this, just as a little homage to my mom in North Carolina, that's where she was raised. Make a quick little slaw here, some nice vinegar. Just wilt this thinly sliced cabbage down. If I tried to sit here and cook this on the stovetop, by the time I cooked all the way through, I would have a 1/4 inch on both sides of just crunchy beef. The idea to cook it all the way through to really get that great flavor, we want to go ahead and finish it in the oven. So I finished it in the wood fire oven, finish it in your oven at 350. Either way, you're good to go. So we'll build a burger, little thin sliced onion on the bottom. Now, it's leaking a little bit of the pimento cheese. Fantastic, it shows you it's done. But this looks like mine right here. Lay that up on top. A little unripe heirloom tomatoes, that goes on top. Let's get some of the ranch dressing. On top of that. Nice pieces of bacon, we'll throw that up on top. A little bit of that quick pickled slaw that I did. Look at that thing, huh? All right, let's cut into this thing and take a look at it. Nice brioche bun, going right through. Tell me that's not the cover of a magazine. Here we go. There's so many textures, so much flavor. Southwest lobster rolls. We're talking grilled tail meat and creamy cilantro lime slaw packed into garlicky toasted buns. A new take on an old Northeast classic. Drop half the butter in each of these. We're gonna make a compound. We're actually gonna make a garlic butter to go with the rolls for these lobster rolls. And we're also gonna make a basting butter that we're gonna put on there with a little habanero. I've got some garlic here. Nice. Give me a little zest of that lime. We'll get some capers in here as well. Go there, go there. Thank you. We're gonna hit some of the lime juice into it. Watch out, coming over, dropping some shallots in. I wanna drop this parsley over to you here, and that's gonna be for that butter. Turn that heat down a little bit. I'm gonna drop this habanero. It's an essence. I just let it steep in the butter and in the white wine, and that really just let it come out a little bit. You knew it was there, but it didn't burn you. So you see how this is all coming together? Yes, so we got the garlic, we got the shallots, we got the habanero, we got the capers. We got to turn that one down because it's going to start to burn. That's going to go together. We're going to grill some lobster tails. In this lobster tail, I want you to go right here at the center. Yep. Push through. Yep. Down. Now, the younger the lobster, or actually if it's molted, if it's lobster, it's going to have a little thinner shell. Sometimes you'll get into them and you'll be pushing down on them. You're like, there's no way I'm getting through it. Right. So go ahead and crack them all the way through, cut them in half. Okay? While he does that, I got a little garlic butter.
I mean, completely.
Yeah, back to where I was, right in the
and right there. Boom.
Okay, now, as he does that, I am actually going to leave. No, I'm sorry.
See you later. Okay, let's go ahead.
Okay.
Don't worry.
No, you got to go all the way through. Okay, you good?
Good. Tell me to put them in half.
Now here's what I want to do. Throw them on here.
Okay.
And grab yourself a spoon and drizzle a little bit of the habanero butter on it. I'll switch sides with you.
Gotcha.
Because I'm going to pull the yuca out. There you go, big spoon. Drizzle some of the habanero butter right on top. The texture and the sweet aspect of lobster is really what makes it so great. So now you can take it spicy, and you can take it Asian. It can be Italian. It can be subtle. It can be cold. It can be hot. You know, it goes anywhere. So these go down right here, Joey. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start them in the shell, get a little sear on them, flip them over, mark them off, continue to baste them. And the last thing we gotta work on before we put this all together, let's talk about rolls. Okay, so take a look at this, brother. And here's what we'll do. We'll start them right
Lobster roll.
Here's, I'm gonna let you work on this.
Okay.
So we take knife, we're gonna do it just like they do in New England.
Center. Yep.
Gonna cut it right down the center like this.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Spin them open.
Open it just a little bit. Hit in just a touch of that garlic butter right on like that. And throw it on the grill.
It's like magic.
You see the magic? All right, so what do we have for you? Some fantastic lobster that's been grilled, basted with a little bit of a habanero butter. Then we've got some toasted rolls over here with a little garlic butter onto those. This beautiful lobster, cooked in the shell over hardwood. And this is really not gonna look right, but here, I'm gonna let you try this right here. Oh, good, thank you. I thought you were gonna make me feed you. Huh? Okay. You got that? Bring it over here. Let's do this. Tag team, throw a little avocado right on there. Just 2 pieces. So we hit a little garlic butter on top of this. Right. Excellent. Now we're gonna go, Joey, there's some more of that. Now we'll throw some of the lobster meat in there.
And throw that little juice in there. Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
Okay. Throw a little bit of that on top.
See, what I like about this, you bring your own flavor to it, no pun intended, but it's got the heat. That's what I like. I like heat. I do. And a lot
lobster
of stuff
rolls can get a little bit boring.
So when you put the heat on it, it's...
Absolutely. Hit me with a little bit more. We'll get some tomato, some avocado right here.
You got it.
Okay, this one. You know, when you get a little bit of that bite, you taste that habanero, but it's not too overpowering.
Love it.
Okay, let me throw one on there for you. I got a cold beer right here.
This is a lobster roll right here. Lobster. Right?
There you go. 1, 2, 3.
All right. That right there is a kick lobster roll.
Did you just edited your own comment?
I did.
So here's the deal. Hanging out in the backyard, cooking with your friends, especially your famous friend from NSYNC, Joey Fatone, my brother. You killed it on Rachel vs. Guy Celebrity. You rocked the kitchen tonight. Next time you come back, you set the menu, and we'll go from there, okay?
Yeah.
Today, you get to learn about my signature cheeseburger. You ready? Now, it's just because we're hanging and we're cool that I'm gonna teach you this. You should do me a favor. Don't go telling everybody about it. Just keep it on the DL. First thing we're gonna start off with is, wait for it, donkey sauce. Yes, the infamous donkey sauce. You wanna know how it came about? I was getting ready to make these burgers for some friends of ours. We were putting this burger concept together, and they said, why do you call it donkey sauce? And I said, because if you don't try it, well, you're just a jackass. But thank you very much. That's the real name. I'm not kidding you. So here's how we're gonna start it off. First, just a little bit of mayonnaise, some roasted garlic, yellow mustard. I know, you're seeing it all. A little Worcestershire sauce, touch of some salt, cracked black pepper, so everything you love about mayonnaise, the fat, the creaminess, the saltiness, all we did was amp it up and take the flavor another level. That's donkey sauce. All right, donkey sauce is done. What do we need next? The SMC, the super melted cheese. You gotta promise you're not gonna show anybody this. Now, in this pot, I have a little bit of water already going. Now I'm gonna add some half and half. This, we gotta go low and slow. I have some processed cheese, all cubed up, and we're gonna bring this temperature up nice and easy so it doesn't break. We'll go in with a little bit of Worcestershire and just a little kiss of some Tabasco. It's not gonna be hot, but you get the idea. We need to just have a little bit of heat in there, okay? So we're gonna let this go low and slow. And as that processed cheese starts to melt a little bit, we're gonna add in some of my other favorite cheeses. You could go with a double boiler with this. I don't think it's necessary. If you just don't crank the heat, you won't burn it, you won't scorch it. Just take your time. Processed cheese starting to melt a little bit. Now we're gonna back it up with some real cheese. We're gonna get in some smoked Gouda. And again, we shred it really thin and give it a chance to melt nicely. We'll get in with some cheddar. shredded really finely. Whisk would also be a nice thing to do, but as always, I just have one utensil. If I could make this into a knife and a fork and a pair of tongs all at the same time, like a gigantic Swiss Army knife, tell you, I'd be going places. A little provolone. There we go. Now it's really starting to work for us. Beautiful. Now, one of the real keys to this cheese sauce is to hand shred it so you don't get that funky little dust that they put on the outside of the cheese to keep it from coagulating when it's inside the bag. I mean, I'll tell you one thing about buying cheese. Buy that whole block and shred it yourself. We'll just keep the cheese sauce warm, and it's ready to go. Beautiful. Okay, next up, the burger. Now, what we have here is 80-20 ground beef. And when we're talking about making great burgers, if I'm getting everybody over and we're gonna do it, I would recommend going to the butcher and saying, grind me up a little bit of brisket, give me some short rib, and give me some chuck. If you're gonna do it right. We've got about a pound and a half here, so this should make us about 4 6-ounce patties. My favorite way to do it, just to make sure that we're keeping everybody even, because you know with two boys, if you don't make the patties even, someone's gonna be upset that someone got a bigger one. Okay, so we take the patty, we're gonna ball it up. Don't press it super hard. Now, I want you to just I want you to do this at home. I want you to just hit that salt all the way around. Roll that salt all the way around with your favorite kosher salt, and it's seasoned. No pepper, nothing else, just like this. I have my flat top over here, but since I know that you might not have one at home, I want to show you how to do this with a cast iron. If you don't have cast iron, I want you to go get one. Sporting goods stores have them galore. Go to Camp Chef, anybody's got them. But really good cast iron is the way to go, and we're gonna drop this down. There we go, that's what we're looking for, okay? Cold meat, hot pan. While that's going, wash my hands real quick. Smash the patty. Seasoned all the way around. One over the top. Sometimes you'll see people do it with a big hand press. That's what I'm looking for. And you only get to smash it once, folks. Brioche bun. Get a little bit of this garlic butter on there. As soon as we see some of the juice float to the top, we're gonna flip it and try to put it in another spot where it wasn't just exactly at. And that's what we're looking for, that nice crust, that Maillard effect on top. Smoky smells burgers. We're gonna treat both sides of the bun. Now, gotta get this working real quick. Gonna take some of the cheese sauce. This is a little hot, so it's gonna run a bit on us, but you'll get the general idea. When it cools down, it's a little bit easier to apply to it. We're gonna take the cheese sauce, throw it right up on top. Throw the cheese on top. Dome and some water. This steam is gonna help melt that cheese better than any salamander putting it under the broiler. So like this. This is just the exact way we do it in the restaurant. Guy's Kitchen and Bar, Guy's Burger Joint, you go on Carnival Cruise Lines, you watch what they're doing. This is exactly how it goes down. Okay? A little bit of the donkey sauce. Liberally, we call it coast to coast. Want to get that fat all the way across. Hit a few pickles right on the bottom. Pickles are key. Got to have that acid, got to have that tang. Really thin onions. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. That's melted cheese right on top of it. Thin sliced iceberg lettuce. A couple thin sliced tomatoes. Nice toasted brioche bun. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the burger. That cheeseburger right there, we won New York City Food and Wine Festival, Burger Bash. We've sold hundreds of thousands of these. But I want you to take a look at it. Juicy, scratch-made, handmade. My mouth is watering so bad. Are you ready? I gotta be honest with you. It's a simple burger. It's a simple recipe. You just gotta use great ingredients, and you gotta follow the rules. You're gonna serve it just like we do at the restaurant. I'm giving you all I got, folks. Hope you dig it. Go home and make it. I know you're gonna love it. See you next week. I'm gonna make a relish that's gonna go on this danger dog. What is a danger dog? What is a danger dog? I'm gonna stuff jalapenos inside of a hot dog and wrap it in bacon and then put this righteous relish on top of it. Say it, righteous relish. Okay, so here's what I did is I broke down half the pineapple, a little veg oil. This thing is smoking hot. Okay, on we go with the pineapple. Save a piece for me. Nice little grill marks, not looking to cook it. Just kind of put a little char to it. Take this big spoon. So I took the center seed out. I'm just gonna kind of get this right inside, twist it around, and this is super ripe. Pull all that flesh out. Let's get back to making the rest of this relish that's gonna go on top. So pickle relish, some jalapeno, little Fresno chili or red jalapeno. Fresno's a little bit spicier. Red onion, and some lemon juice, okay? Let's see what we're looking like here. Beautiful. So a little jalapeno. I like the Fresno. I want the heat. Get those jalapeno slices down. Okay. With that. Bowl. Now we'll get a little bit of lemon juice in there, a little acid from that. A little bit of olive oil. Touch of some salt and pepper. Go. A little bit of the relish. There we go. And some lemon juice. Like this. Squeeze, that's a little bit of acid there for it. Lime juice would work great too. You got onions, peppers, a little bit of relish, but to dial it down and calm it down. Kind of stuck mango. Took the core of this out, and that char is going to be perfect. Those are nice and soft. There we go. Okay. That in. This is some nice applewood smoked bacon, and it's super hot. There's the jalapeno. I cut out the round a touch. I got a jalapeno strip, okay? So here's what's gonna happen. These are gonna cook, really just warm up, get all those flavors. We've got a hot dog, all beef dog, stuffed with jalapenos, wrapped in bacon, all put together. Check this out. We're gonna hit some mustard, this killer relish that I made starting off with some relish, some jalapenos, some red Fresno chilies, a little bit of grilled pineapple. Now we'll just hit some mustard on top, your favorite mustard. There's also a little grilled mango in there. Okay, look at this, huh? A little red onion. Now we'll get this delicious, now this had a chance to kind of set up a little bit. Check out the beautiful colors on that. Right on top. So the Danger Dog has got the jalapeno in it, wrapped in the applewood smoked bacon, and then grilled off, kind of give it a chance to render down, kind of, you know, the dogs, you know, they come out of the package, they're kind of soft. This kind of toughens them up a little bit. So you got some great texture. Tell me that doesn't look awesome. Look at that bad boy. Just like I'm in the streets of Tijuana. It's everything. Spicy, salty, sweet. I mean, if you ever told me you could get umami in a dog, that is it. But that's the time of the year. Catfish sandwich with a Chipotle lime slaw. Now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get some flour over here on the first one. A little bit of flour. And check it out, some chili powder. And this is gonna be the beginning dredge. This is what's gonna stick to the fish. A little chili powder and a little black pepper. Okay, this is what's gonna have first contact with the fish. Secondly, a little whole grain mustard. And the whole grain mustard is gonna go with a little beer, a little nice rich beer. You get that really great mustard flavor. You get the richness of the beer. You get the tanginess of the mustard, the sweetness of the beer. All these things going on, killer. Watch this little trick. Right underneath the hand, boom, Yahtzee. Okay, there we go. A little dark beer in there on that. And then, to make this whole battering process go on, little panko breadcrumb here. Oh, good, I did have enough, okay? And these, a Japanese breadcrumb, really light, crunchy, holds onto the fish really well. It doesn't get soggy, doesn't get matted and cakey. Okay, some granulated garlic, some paprika. Wow, that's some good looking color on that, huh? I always keep some fresh ground black pepper off to the side. Nice helping of that. Some salt, and there we are. All three are ready to go. Look at the color coming out in that. That'll really shine nice. Okay, so we get all this separated. The star of the show, these beautiful catfish fillets, nice and tender but firm, not overly fishy in their taste. I think they go great in gumbo, jambalaya. It's gonna work fantastic in the sandwich on this nice Cuban roll. I mean, it's gonna be quite the presentation. So we get this. Let me mix this up. Okay. Dredge this through here, like that. Here's my tray. Now into the beer, so the flour sticks to the fish. Now we get some of that great beer flavor and that mustard sticking to the flour, and then boom, into the panko, over the top like that. And I did not do my wet hand, dry hand, so as my son Hunter would say, I am now going to have Hulk fingers. They'll start building up. That's all right, I'm only doing 4 fillets. And what I'm gonna do is set them on this rack and let them dry out a little bit. And what happens, that helps the breadcrumbs adhere. And you see I'm really packing it on there, okay? This is gonna let the breadcrumbs adhere better, so when I fry it up, it's gonna give this nice, crunchy, stick-to-it kind of batter. Nobody flaking and falling off in this. Okay, some onions, red onions, some green onions, some red bells, some nice cabbage, and all this is gonna go together for this fantastic slaw that's gonna go on top of these catfish fillets that I have dredged in basically everything I have in the fridge and in the pantry. All right, get all this stuff done. There we go. Now this is gonna be the delicious Chipotle lime slaw, and this is going to marinate in the fridge for a little bit. Let me get this out of the way. Oh, I gotta get a little bit of cilantro down in there as well. Let me just get a little piece of this out. Just a touch. Now, the Chipotle pepper, of course, plays a nice piece in this, and you know on GBB that I love my Chipotle peppers, but especially because when I'm thinking about being down in La Manzanilla, you know, my chill spot just kind of goes hand in hand. Okay, some mayo, some sour cream, and some Chipotles in adobo. Oh, one of my favorite things ever. I'm not kidding you. You know, at Chipotle, being a smoked jalapeno pepper, they had to have a way to preserve the pepper back in the day, so they would smoke it, they would dry it out. Well, then they reconstitute it by making this adobo, which is kind of like a spicy vinegar sauce made with tomatoes, and oh, it's so dynamite. I mean, it just goes hand in hand with all kinds of great Mexican or Southwestern food. So 1/2 cup of the sour cream in my precise measuring techniques here on GBB. Okay, let me get you a little salt, actually a little pepper, a little salt. Chipotles are a little small on this one, so I'm just gonna kind of use 2 on this one. Chop it up. Want to get as much of that sauce in there as I can. Okay, and as I said, that adobo's got the tomato sauce and vinegar, a little bit of salt in there to kind of reconstitute them and preserve them. Okay, so that's in. Now, here we go. Microplane, take the zester, get some of the lime zest in there. Not going down too far, just getting the top piece there, and then taking it and getting the juice. The juice by itself just doesn't say lime enough. Now, I'm gonna put some lime juice, and I'm gonna put some white vinegar. And why the white vinegar? Well, you know, the vinegar kind of gives that real distinctive flavor and says, I am slaw. And the lime juice has kind of the citrusy, acidic side to it. So, a couple tablespoons of that, and I think this will work out great. Okay, and before I go any farther, let me get a little bit of sugar in there too. Kind of bringing all the flavors together. Okay, so mix this up. Let this kind of hang out for a second, and then I'll pour it on top of that slaw mixture and pop that in the fridge. Cast iron skillet's ready to go, and we've only got about a 1/4 inch, a little bit more of oil in there, and these catfish fillets are ready to go downtown. Now these are gonna go down, I'm only gonna put 2 in at a time. Even though the cast iron really retains heat well, this is great for doing fried chicken, by the way, I don't wanna put too much in at one time, have them steam each other and lose some of the spreading. So in, nice and easy. Look at that, about halfway up. And another one. That's a hearty portion of catfish, I may say. Okay, so we'll let that bubble over like that. Let's take a minute here and turn these over and see if they're ready to go. I don't want to mess with them a lot. Actually, I don't want to use tongs. I want to use some kind of a spatula and see if this is ready to go over. I really want to make sure that the crust, the crunch is really set up on that other side. So let me take a look here. All right, that bad boy's ready to go over for sure. There we go. And over on this one. Nice golden brown. Look at that. Little Cuban roll, toasted it there with some butter. Actually grabbed some of this slaw, throw that right on top. This is Chipotle lime slaw that I made. Fantastic. Let me grab a cuchillo. Look at that thing. And what we're gonna, look at this. I just gotta check it out. I wanna see what it looks like from the side here. It's enough to feed 3 people, just one sandwich. Take a look at that. Let me get into a bite of this. Wow. Dynamite.
My sausage muffuletta. Oh. Taking the classic flavors and combining a classic New Orleans style muffuletta with a charcuterie board. All right, starting with, this is not Italian cold cuts. This is whole roast sausage. Take a gander at that.
That's right.
We skewered it with 2 wooden skewers. We kept it in the coil. You can buy this at the butcher shop. And if you don't see it, you know they got it in coils in the back, so just ask them. And we put the skewers in there to keep it contained. We put a little olive oil in there, and watch how easy this flip is. Did you hear it?
Flip it.
Look how nice and brown that is.
So we're just gonna kiss this with a little high heat, give it a nice browning, do the other side. Once that's good, we can take it out. Again, look at how easy it is to move with the skewers in there, which we will remove later when we get into that. Now we got all that rendering in the pan.
The best.
To this, we got some fennel. We're gonna add some fresh fennel. I think fennel and sausage are best friends for life, right?
For life.
So we can play on those sweet kind of licorice flavors right there and just slice it like you would an onion. And this is gonna go right into the fat of that sausage. So we got the fennel directly in there. We're gonna saute this fennel for a little bit. We can give it a little salt to help sweat it out, a little more olive oil, grapes.
Okay.
Sausage and grapes.
I can't believe it's going into a muffuletta. Sandwich king, y'all.
My heavens, right? Got some fresh thyme, a couple sprigs of that. Wow, you guys are really in a clapping mood today. Pepper! Once this softens up, we're gonna kind of caramelize all this together. Get it slow and slow. We are going to deglaze with some balsamic vinegar.
Ooh. Do it.
We got sweet. We got the black licorice. We got the herbs in there. We got the sour. We got everything. This is gonna go in the oven. We're gonna nestle that sausage back on top.
Oh, yum.
Again, if it's this thin, it could cook through pretty quickly, so it doesn't need to go back. But if it's like thick rope Italian sausage, you wanna bring it to 160, 165, of course, while all this kind of caramelizes in the oven. Oven at 425. It's gonna go in there, again, depending on your thickness, the internal temperature, but I wanna show you what this baby looks like. Look at that, beautiful, right? So we have that sausage, we have all that beautiful, cooked down grapes.
The fond.
The fennel. Let's grab that bread.
Let's do it.
I have it in the oven, just kissing it a little, about 200 heat here, just till it's nice. And you hear that? If it's a little past its prime, just throw it in the oven for a little bit, not too high. And then you got this beautiful bread. Now we can start building here. So I'm gonna take some of this out to keep the ratios pure and right. So I am gonna take this bread out. You can use that something later. Now we can start building. Another integral ingredient in muffuletta, tapenade. This is green olive tapenade. Tons of oil, tons of flavor in there. Salt, punchy. So you can spread this. We got that tapenade on there, and again, that fennel and grape sauteed right there, just a nice little schmear on there. Now we can put our sausage intact right on top of there. Look at that ratio. Right, crust to crust.
I was
even with
wondering about that.
And now we can take out that skewer just like that. I'm gonna actually spread a little bit of that on top.
Do it.
We're gonna get that oil. And again, right, there's a ton of oil in here. Just a little bit of feta on there, just to even it out. Now we can close that. Bring it over. First, we gotta cut it, right? Because I have a whole system
you're not
for
gonna
a
mush it
picnic
down.
packing job here for the muffuletta.
Oh, you're gonna pack it for us. Okay.
Oh, because it's gonna be hard, you know.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Oh.
We put it on your finest linen.
Fancy.
Now we take two corners. Thanks, Martha. In the middle.
Oh,
Good job, Martha.
Jeff.
This is very Martha
Did you
Stewart.
say Martha?
You know she's watching.
It works, it's balanced, it's delicious, it's moist, and what a perfect picnic sandwich.
All right, this is sweet, it's savory, it's double-decker. It's quite possibly the most preposterous sandwich on the planet. It is the double-decker Monte Cristo. Or should I say the Moro Cristo? Katie, you are my, what was that now? All right, you're gonna help me build the sandwich in tandem with me here.
Okay.
Starting with, for a little restraint, a little wheat bread.
Yeah.
That's
very-
a restraint.
What's up with that?
You gotta get the fiber in when you can,
It's
Katie.
that wheat that looks like white. So
It's like honey white. It's like honey
honey,
wheat.
okay.
This is like faux wheat.
It's like faux wheat. Yeah, there's not much extra fiber
Sarah
in here.
Morrow was not buying.
No, she's not even close. This is not in her wheelhouse at all. So we have some ham, like honey ham, nice sliced thin, some like smoked turkey, some sharp cheddar, and some Gruyere. Sometimes you use, now for Monte Cristo is like a double-decker sandwich with like ham, turkey, cheese, usually Swiss. I'm gonna use Gruyere. I think it's just way more flavorful and melts really nice.
Okay.
So first layer, cheddar, Katie, on the bottom. Then take one, see, we know it's a dainty sandwich, so just one nice slice. Make sure it's nice and thin, right? You want that translucent test. Want to see your finger through it. And then we're gonna ribbon it up nice on there. Very good. Little height. Now we come with the Gruyere. Boom. First layer done.
Rich man Swiss.
The rich man Swiss. Next comes another slice of bread. Oh, now comes the Gruyere, and then the ham.
What?
What? And then the cheddar, and then another slice of bread. Like a classic club-style double-decker.
And we're not putting any, like, there's
Whoa,
no...
whoa, 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 whoa,
Mustard?
No mustard, no mayonnaise?
No, I don't want any of it. I want it
Why?
pure because we're gonna have
Well,
plenty
it's
of
the Moro
dippers.
Cristo.
It's the Moro Cristo.
Okay.
Let my diner dictate the dippage.
Okay.
Gabish?
No.
Kiss his grits.
Kiss my grits. Now we take the finest of fine plastic wrap, Katie.
Uh-oh.
I will show you what to do, and you can follow suit.
Does anybody like to guess how the sandwich
Get this
was
ready.
named?
How the sandwich was named.
Well, most likely.
Well, it's a spin on like croque,
Madame
croque
Monsieur.
monsieur. We're gonna cut this really quick in half. Give us a little trivia now.
Yes,
Jeffrey.
most likely it was named after Monsieur Alexandre Dumas in 1844, who wrote The Count of Monte Cristo.
That is.
How about that?
All right.
This has to go in the fridge. Tighten up. Get cold. 2 hours minimum.
Can you freeze it? No, I'm not joking.
I
freeze it?
wouldn't freeze it because it's a fairly quick fry because there's really nothing to cook inside. It's just we want to melt it inside. 2 hours. You can do it overnight. I got a couple ready to
Why
go.
does it need to be refrigerated?
This is what they do in the restaurants in my
why.
research.
It's the moisture from that deli meat soaks into the bread and creates a natural spackle.
I love it.
It's gonna hold it together.
Right.
All right, baking powder, all-purpose flour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because we
Jeff,
want it
A lot of
bubbling.
flour.
All right, and pour some salt and some egg, which we'll put right
So
in
this
there.
is like a full breading going on.
This is more, this is a
I gotta
batter.
tell you, I don't know if I've ever had a Monte Cristo now that
I've
I'm
had
thinking
one,
about
but I
it.
haven't had a
It has
Moro
the powdered
Cristo.
sugar on it, right?
All right. Yes,
Okay, so maybe I have.
Don't give it away, Katie.
Give it
All right,
away,
then
give
some
it away.
water. Not all of it. We'll start with like a cup at a time and just see how it all comes together, depending on the local humidity. Now you want a loose batter because you don't want, you need to be able to dip a sandwich into this. This is not like,
This is wild.
It is wild. I'm a wild guy, and I love this sandwich, and you serve this
I
on
don't think I've had this.
All right, this has got to sit almost like a pancake batter for about 10 minutes. I got one ready to go here. It's El Perfecto. Had those, kind of everything. The flour is extra hydrated. It's ready for the deep fryer. It's ready to cling to the bread. Can you unwrap those for me, Katie?
Don't you think that brunch is like really an excuse to splurge too? Like
splurge on the diet?
Yeah, like
Okay,
it's a
sure.
meal to like have the sweet, the savory, the fried bits.
Guarantee you something. You make this for your kids at home, they're gonna love it.
Oh, they're gonna get a big kick out of this.
They are. They're like, what is that? So we have a cold cured half of ham turkey sandwich here. We are gonna pierce it. This is a double duty toothpick here. Okay, it's gonna keep it together. It's also gonna make it easier to flip.
Just
my
one?
oil's creeping up almost to 350 is the magic temperature for this. Right into there. Right? All right, look at this. All up in there. Now we can kind of grab the ends of those toothpicks.
Okay, let's see what you're working
You
with.
see?
Yeah, oh, that's great.
Gently let extridge, dippage
Extridge.
into the dippage.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah.
The excess drippage into the dippage.
You want to try it one more time?
Nope, I'm gonna go with it. I'm just gonna let it, I'm gonna walk it like they do at the fish shops,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
They kind of let it
Don't let it
walk
drop
in the
to the
oil.
bottom. Mm-hmm.
And now,
So one
we let her go.
Whoa.
Let's do it again.
Get it in there, Jeff. I'm
That
excited
looks
too.
like fun.
It is ridiculous in every way, shape, or form, but you know what? It's America, baby.
I kind of want to try to do one of these, Jeff.
Do you want 'em?
Yeah, there's something about it that I'm into this.
Just one roll.
Like sandwich rolling
satisfying.
batter.
And the reason we're kind of clinging onto these toothpicks here is there's
Yeah.
no tongue markage
Full
in there.
coverage, yeah, full coverage, man. Are you kidding me?
Let it chill for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I
Is
love
that
it.
just
Let
the
it
best?
set.
Let
I'm
it
loving
chill.
this. Good technique, Jeff.
And now, you can do that, Katie, if you want to grab some extra tongs in there. Now we got to do a little rolly, right? So it's got the baking powder in there, that well hydrated. We sat that batter for 10 minutes. You get these little craggles on there. I mean, that's like Prozone right there. Prozone. I mean, brunch right there. It's like
I'll tear it up.
a donut meets a waffle meets a club
Meets,
sandwich.
Meets a grilled cheese.
Look at all them bubs on there.
Yeah.
Look at those deep fried golden brown batter bubs.
I call them craggles, but okay.
Craggles, these are bubs.
Bubs.
Everybody in the bub getting tipsy.
Getting crispy.
Getting crispy. I should have gone with that. All right, remember, this is that ham, Gruyere, cheddar, turkey, triple decker with a nice, very healthy honey wheat bread. I did some research. I went country white at
that's so
first,
smart.
and I was like, no. And you don't want too much bread in this, right? You want like the bag of
Is
bread.
it the honey that's in the wheat that actually gives this a little bit of sweetness?
A little
so it does
sweetness
make
in there,
sense?
and of course, you know, a little extra something to make you feel good. But this is what we're looking for. That is the color. I mean, you can
That's
hear it
wild.
from a mile away.
Yeah, crunch, crunch.
Crunch, crunch. And
Somebody
these are
could look at that and
piping.
think they were like getting a big old piece of fried fish at first.
Yeah, I know, but no, it's literally a whole sandwich inside there.
Yeah.
Now, what's missing with this?
You know what's missing.
What is missing,
that
Miss
topping
Katie
from the
Lee?
80s.
Shepherd's?
You have to remove the toothpicks.
Oh,
We'll
that's
do
true.
that,
Thank you,
yeah.
Jeffrey.
Do that when
He's
when we
looking
get
out
served.
for us.
He is looking.
Listen, I've done that before, like impale on the top.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
It's not
I was
fun.
already thinking it. I was
I know.
gonna
Not
remove
fun.
Well, first of all, let me point out the two classic pairings for such this dainty little bugger here. We've got some honey mustard,
Oh.
a nice honey Dijon,
Honey
straight from
Dijon.
France. I imported it from France on account of Dumont. And then just some nice jam,
Yeah.
raspberry preserves.
jam.
Yeah.
No, preserves.
Oh, preserves. Excusez-moi, monsieur.
Golly. And then, I don't know who the guy was that was like, excuse me, monsieur. Oui, chef, there is one thing missing from this Monte Cristo. Do you trust me, chef? I'm just
Yes.
a commis.
Yes.
Right? I'm gonna show you. He came out of the woodworks with the bam, 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 powdered sugar on top. Mental. It's traditional. It's what you gotta do.
You have to.
Don't skip this step. Sonny, you are first.
Yeah.
I think
Can I get
that
some
the
more
powdered
powdered
sugar
sugar?
makes it brunchy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you just a little more.
It gives you like French toast vibes.
Katie, can you grab the fresh dill and the
No, and only
tamarind
the pecorino
and the
romano.
pecorino, and please the
Come on, while it's hot. Is it gonna burn me?
it just might.
Looking
Would you
for it.
like
Yeah, I'll take both.
a double trouble?
Yeah, I'll
This
take
is
double
wild.
trouble. I'm
Double
in.
trouble dipper?
Yeah.
Ooh, Jeffrey,
Because
that's
when I make this, I usually thinly veil the bread on the inside with these. So this is gonna be nice. Fork and knife,
Yeah.
please. Yeah. I'm gonna cut
yeah.
into
This is a
baby.
this is a knife and fork.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
I mean,
sure.
I'm gonna pick it up, but I also just want to look at the inside.
Oh, Jesus,
Is it heavy?
heavy. I didn't.
Look at that, huh?
You
Let me see
know,
that inside.
You are the sandwich king.
This is true.
Wow, look at that.
It's melty melt.
Ooh,
That takes quite a bit of, you gotta let it fry, because it's deep down inside.
It's inside.
Right? Plus it came from a
Double-decker.
cold fridge. You didn't mention you have to marinate in the fridge.
Yeah, you gotta marinate
My
in
mouth
the
is
fridge.
watering right now.
I'll save this for the cam.
Yep.
Yep.
First of all, it's cushy and crispy.
Yes, double.
It's like the layer of crisp is there, and then as soon as you get through it, the bread, the meat, the cheese, it's all an amalgamation of one bite. It's just,
Amalgamation.
yeah, it's all together. This is the sweet and savory heaven that you think about when you do a brunch, right? Because we all talk about it. Do you want eggs? Do you want bacon? Do you want pancakes? This is all sweet and savory all together. This is good stuff.
All
Jeff.
right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, of
Truly
course.
outdone yourself with this.
family brunch, please.
Yeah, it's a once-a-year meal.
Forget the Monte Cristo and you get the Maro Cristo. That's what you gotta try.
The world's greatest Reuben.
All right.
So starting with mayonnaise.
Basis
of course,
to any
some
good
chopped
sauce.
up giardiniera relish. the
King of
good stuff.
Giardiniera.
That's kind of my way to remix this instead of using pickle relish, because you get the fermentation, the spice, the funk that you want. Some Dijon, granulated garlic, a little bit of ketchup, and a little chili sauce. Brisket. That's what it started at. It was corned. Now it's corned beef. So we're gonna make a quick little kind of a pastrami rub in here, starting with the more robust elements, because I want this kind of chunky. We have some coriander, some mustard seeds, and some peppercorns. I got some turbinado sugar here and some bay leaves. So we're gonna kind of not pulverize this, but nice gritty texture. So really, I wanna see it. I want it to kind of lay up in there. Little yellow
That
mustard.
ballpark
You know I love some yellow mustard.
Simple yellow mustard, right?
Ah.
And that yellow mustard helps to tenderize as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
All right, this is literally going right into our slow cooker.
Come on,
Amazing.
Jeff.
So easy, don't need to fire up the smoker.
Smells
Some
so
garlic
good.
cloves, a couple more bay leaves, and we're gonna cover it right to about the edge of the fat cap there with some good stock. You can use beef stock, chicken
I'm
stock.
gonna stand back.
All right, we're gonna do 8 hours on low or 4 hours on high until when, Jeffrey?
Till,
pork tender.
Let's see
We
it.
cooked it.
Yeah.
We took it out. You can see. Look at that.
Yup.
So now we're gonna cut it against the grain. Woo-hoo. Our Reuben is ready to be assembled. We got our crowd on deck.
Okay.
We got some marble rye, maybe a little bit of an upgrade,
marble
refresh.
Butter
I
it
love
up.
it. Katie, can you please spread that room temperature butter? Crust to crust is a must when spreading this butter. Do not be shy. We're gonna put this on a nice flat griddle here with that butter. I'm gonna take a couple of those big hunks.
Oh.
Jeff.
All right, right on there. The bread's going.
goodness.
Perfect.
Might I say your slices are generous.
It's like a steak sandwich.
Here we go. You ready?
What?
Oh.
What are you doing, Jeff?
Okay.
All right, he's
Jeff,
getting
this
funky
is-
over here.
Jeff.
All right.
It's,
What?
Oh.
No.
Jeff.
Right on there.
But
Right
why?
on there.
Definitely a
Because I said
Ratatouille
so.
remake.
Now what happens, right? If you do this right.
The steam. Oh,
No.
Jeff. Are you doming?
Seal it up. Seal
All
it
right,
up.
yes, I do need a dome right now. Katie, bowl me.
Oh.
Gonna get it under there. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Boom.
Oh, I heard
Steam it up. All right, here we go. We're steamed up.
Wow.
Jeff. Come on, Jeff.
Oh,
I love the steamification.
this is what I want right here.
Here we go.
All right.
Get on that. Come on.
It should always be a bias cut.
Yeah, you need an angle.
You need an angle to bite and an angle to dip. Ooh. Come on, Jeff.
He's showing off,
Whoa.
as he should.
Whoa.
All right. Probably one of the most outstanding Reubens I've ever eaten.
This is so good.
He's going back in.
This sandwich is a total star.
Ratatouille sandwich.
All right.
Starting with the melange of veg here. We got the eggplant, we got the summer yellow squash, we got the zucchinis, we got the red pepper that we roasted, we skinned, some thinly sliced onions. I got some garlic, of course, and some herbs. What we did was salt these for about 30 minutes. The eggplant and the zucchini and the squash hold a tremendous amount of water in them, so we want to extract that water to not compromise our final product, but also kind of firm them up, right? Because we're gonna bake them nice and long. So you dab them, you salt them, kosher salt, so you know how much is hitting that vegetable and you don't have to do any guesswork. Then you flip them and you do it again because the bottoms get salted as well, so you don't want to neglect that. Remember, we pre-roasted these so they're nice and soft already, pliable. Let's make some flavoring agents, if you will, starting with some olive oil. We're gonna add some fresh garlic to this, fresh rosemary, some cracked black pepper, gotta have the cracked, some fresh thyme, and there we have it. A little salt. And now we're gonna start layering all these.
Exciting.
Right, and we made a nice aluminum foil cradle. We got plenty of moisture. You don't need to spray or anything. We got some Parmesan cheese. I know, not a traditional ingredient. This is more of a binder, and you'll see why. Starting with our first vegetable, which is the summer squash. We're just gonna layer on there. Nice, 2 layers of each vegetable, right? Almost like a jigsaw puzzle. Then we're gonna brush on that very flavorful herby oil right on top of there. Then we're gonna sprinkle just a tiny amount of parm just to adhere the next level, which is the roasted red pepper. Alex, I know. What do you think so far? Are you okay with this?
Yeah, I was thinking of a lot of things. First of all, I think Ratatouille is really from the south of France, where you get into places like Nice, and it's so close to Italy. You're getting those Italian vibes already that the Parmesan cheese makes complete sense. And I was also thinking the eggplant and the zucchini they're vegetables that don't need a lot of water to grow. So this is actually you being really green in a very slick way by using the zucchini and the eggplant.
Eggplant's something that kind of trips people up sometimes. They get a little intimidated by it because you think, do I have to salt it? Do I have to do all this method like this? Yes, Jeff's salting it. But you can also just cut it up and roast it. It doesn't have to be salted
Yeah,
for preparation.
I generally
like that.
don't ever salt my eggplant.
Ooh, boy.
How you doing, Jeff? How's the layering going?
We're going good, guys. So 2 layers of each vegetable, and we are gonna put that skin side out so it looks pretty in there. We're gonna give it another brush. Again,
That's
2
actually
layers of each.
Wait a minute, I didn't even ever think of that. You put them so the skin sides are on the out, so when you unmold it, you see all the color. I
Pretty,
didn't think
right?
of that.
I usually remove the skin, so I'm doing like an eggplant parm, you know, because it can get a little, but I love the flavor of the skin, right? It's like
I like
nothing
it
like
too.
the inside, right? It's
And
so
when you
different.
roast, yeah, I really like it.
All right, this is the last and final piece. You gotta have tomatoes in there. I didn't wanna layer tomatoes in there, it's a lot of water content in there, so I'm just gonna put these beautiful plum tomatoes right on top and bake them in there. We got the oven at 400 degrees. A little more parm on top.
As long as you have cheese on top, it doesn't matter what's underneath.
Just gonna help give it a nice, caramelization and browning, a little salt, and it's going in the oven. 1 hour and 15 minutes, 400-degree oven, Jeffrey.
Do you cover it up?
No,
like
I
that?
want to dehydrate it almost so it becomes more concentrated in flavor,
Got
but
it.
also in integrity. So you
Check.
can cut it.
Check.
We bake it. Now you put it in the fridge for at least 4 hours, up to overnight in the fridge. And now I want you to take a gander at that beauty. Look at, it's cold. You could serve this room temperature. You could even serve it warm. Just let it rest a little bit like you would a lasagna. Really, you don't want it sliding around, but that's why we did the cradle.
Cradle.
Let's see, moment of truth. Woo!
Oh,
Wow.
it's like a vegetable hammock.
It's a vegetable hammock, Jeffrey. That was my second name for that, but you beat me to it.
Jeff, that's really beautiful.
I
And
love
you've got
that.
all the onions, right? The eggplant, the zucchini, all that spring bounty. And now every sandwich needs 2 things. You need a good sauce, all right? You need some veg, some crispness on there. So we got some arugula. I made a champagne vinaigrette in honor of Jeffrey that you can find on foodnetwork.com/thekitchen. So this has got champagne vinegar, shallots, some herbs, everything. And we're gonna lightly dress this arugula, give it some acidic punch to this, because this is a lot of, basic vegetable. Yeah. So we just got some nice sub rolls, but that we've treated with butter and rubbed with garlic. So we got almost this nice garlic bread presentation here.
It's almost a terrine
Come on,
legume.
guy.
It's a terrine
Come on,
legume.
guy.
What?
Come on.
It's a terrine.
Can I do one more thing in honor
what?
of Jeffrey? I gotta go a little extra.
Goat
You
cheese.
can do this
Goat
or
cheese.
some beautiful whipped French butter.
Is it
On
salted?
the bottom,
Oh.
soft.
I thought that was an aioli.
No, it's not. I'm gonna do I rarely do a double-sided applique schmear, but I'm doing it on this. A little bit
Gotta have the
flaky
salt.
sea salt
Yeah.
on there.
That's very French.
I did that,
Very
right?
French. Now
we're gonna
I'm
match it
okay.
up, right? I'm gonna line it up to the bread. All right.
You're using a serrated knife, right, Joe?
Of course, yeah, you have to. There's no way.
You are on him today.
Oh, just want to make sure he's doing it right.
That's beautiful.
And
I
now,
love that.
a lot
Wait a second. That's the size of the sandwich?
Listen, you
How
can
you gonna
always
eat
you know.
that?
How are you gonna eat
It's gonna
that?
slip all over the place. Oh, it's beautiful.
I love
It's
that.
beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Come on, huh?
I want to see you take a bite of that.
Look at
dramatic.
that. Look how pretty that is. You could do thinner slices and layer it the other way. I just wanted to be funny about it, but I like to cut it again so you get double cross section on the sharp bias. How are you gonna eat it? You create that
Point.
easy triangle for that first bite.
Create a point of entry.
Pretty.
Ooh, look at the little layer of butter in there, just peeking out.
I gotta go upside down methodology on that.
Oh my goodness. I'm impressed.
Respect.
And that's beyond internet food. I know it's like a showstopper visually and it'd be totally Instagrammable, but so tasty. The vegetables have so much crunch to them still and freshness. The fat, the salt, the crispness from the arugula, spiciness from there too. It is so good. Gus's kitchen sink frittata croissant sandwich.
Of course
it's
it is.
a croissanta.
A croissant!
A croissanta! Starting with some Italian sausage. You can use breakfast sausage. Again, whatever you have in the fridge. If there's salami, it's going in here. We did some bacon because we had some bacon in there. We crisp it up, put it to the side, let it drain. And then we cooked through that beautiful, I mean, you gotta have chunks of that just beautifully browned sausage in there. All that fat remaining will stay in the pan. I love any sausage, but it makes it a little more breakfasty if you do have the breakfast sauce.
And if you, yeah, and it has all the flavor in it. It's like flavors itself.
Oh yeah, you don't have
Fennel,
to
the
like,
salt.
add any, not much additional salt in this
This is
mixture.
like meat lovers frittata.
Exactly. It's okay if those little bits stay in there. That's just all flavor while we work on our eggs. A dozen eggs, sometimes 2 dozen eggs.
A dozen eggs?
Sometimes
but that's-
2
it's not-
dozen
it's a
eggs.
big pan.
Sometimes Gus would throw 18 eggs in there. It doesn't matter as long as there's a dozen or over.
Yeah, you think it's a lot, but it's not. It's
A
not that
dozen?
thick.
I don't know if I've ever made a frittata with a dozen eggs. I love this.
This is great too, but then it needs a little help too, so we're gonna take Pammy's half and half that she uses for her coffee.
yeah, it's a
We're
spot.
throw that in there, lighten it up.
Jeff, Pam, your mom,
Pam.
what's she think when Gus is in the kitchen making this?
She's long
outside.
gone.
She's with the
long
got
gone.
soda outside in the
She's
back.
gone. She's
Forget the
having some-
half and half and coffee.
Exactly. She's
moved
having
on.
Pinot Grigio in the basement, probably, as far away as possible from the mess. My dad, he believed in the frittata flip, which would be this precarious moment where, in order to make sure the top end of the frittata would get cooked, he'd slide the half-cooked frittata onto a plate, invert it, and then put it back in the pan. It was like an albumin storm around the entire kitchen. I have redeveloped it. Still kept the heart of it and soul of it, but we're gonna put it in the broiler to finish it up once we get it
Smart
set
move.
here. All right, we shut off the heat just a little bit because I don't want a screaming hot pan. I want it just wispy with steam and smoke, and we're gonna take that, pour that directly in there, and you could see it cradled by all that sausage fat, Jeffrey. You love that. I don't want to block the frittata. So we don't really want to like brown it too much, but I want to kind of let it set up, and then we'll add all the ingredients, kind of when that bottom 33% of the frittata gets set up. So I don't want everything sinking, but I want a little sinkage. So we'll just start kind of, not like just moving to those curds form every so often, and we know it's starting to get set up. We can start layering all the other flavors in there, just let it go. Provolone, cubes, could be cheddar, could be American, could be
American.
Amerigacci. So, and then we got half sharp provolone, half Asiago.
Oh my
God. I want you guys to take a bite of this and not only taste the cheese, but I want you to feel the cheese in your eyes.
There's like as much cheese as there is eggs in this.
Yeah, it's a healthy blend.
Yeah.
Now we take that bacon.
Protein, right?
Protein. The sausage is heavier, so you got to throw that in now, right? It's going to sink to the bottom a little quicker than the light and airy, wonderful crisp bacon that kind of sits on the top there and gets a little extra crispy under the broiler.
Is there gonna be like a little parsley or anything?
I am going to introduce some chive later, if you play your cards right, Alex. This is going in the oven, not in the hot oven, second rack under the broiler. So we get a little color, we get a little direct, and we finish it.
Smells so good.
So it's perfect. And here we have it. I let it rest for a little bit so it could slide easily out of a pan. But look at that. You see what happened. Is it a pizza? Is it frittata? It's a little bit of both, Jeffrey.
It's a croissant.
It's a croissant, not yet. So
How
we're gonna
long does this cook about?
you got to keep an eye on it. as soon as, like, I've noticed that if you keep it on that second level, the rack, as soon as it starts to get golden brown, and then turn it out.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna build a croissant right now. It's only gonna get worse, Alex, I'm sorry. So we got it lightly toasted French croissant here. When I cut the frittata, I like to cut it in half, right? And I'm gonna cut it into a proper triangle that will match up to this. And now we can put on the veg and the schmear and the topping for our croissant, starting with cream cheese.
Oh, no, you didn't.
So I took some
Oh,
softened,
no.
not whipped cream cheese. I like the real deal block of cream cheese. You leave out for a couple hours, and then I whipped it together with chopped hot jardinera, a little bit of honey, and some fresh chives.
Wow, getting
So there
vegetables.
is an
too.
herb.
There's a vegetable.
There is an herb and a vegetable. Now to just show some, just lighten it up just a little bit. And just some tomatoes.
A fresh moment.
Right off the vine, right?
From the Morrow Gardens.
From the Morrow Gardens. And now, when you get a cheese pull on a frittata, only when Gus is making it. Look at that, bro.
I mean, you just need some marinara, and it's...
I know, right? Oh, hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. Look at, right on there. A little overhang from the cheese, a little overhang from the egg.
Oh, my goodness.
No bias cut necessary, straight through.
I think we need a slow clap for
I
this.
really do.
I mean, that can feed a family of 4, that one.
Nice
Wow.
cross section.
Wow.
Perfect smearage.
Y'all know how to do it in Chicago.
I like the
do.
ratio of croissant to egg
It's perfect, right?
/ cheese sausage /
And
cream
if you
cheese.
can find these, more ovalesque croissants, less the crescent-shaped croissants. I'm taking a bite, guys.
Oh. Oh.
Look at that cheese hanging over.
Look at that. The egg is almost an afterthought, a perfect vehicle for all that sausage and meat and cheese and bacon. And you need that tomato on there, just kind of even it out. A little extra jardinera on there for a little pop. Dad, Big Gus, I hope I did you proud. Ultimate steak sandwich. Katie, we got some ciabatta. Ciabatta! I love a nice ciabatta. Crust to crust is a must when we're spreading that butter. Lightly griddled, golden brown, because ciabatta really needs a little loving, right? You can't just like cut a dry ciabatta and make a sandwich. Chewy, it's not great. So what we want to do now is take the tenderest cut of steak, which is the tenderloin. It's in the word. I thought that was a shoe in there. So we're gonna take the tenderloin, and what I've done before is I covered it in my black powder rub, which is a recipe you can find on foodnetwork.com, and did my reverse sear method. So put in like 250, 275 degree oven to the internal temperature gets about 115. Then you can hit it under the broiler really quick and get a nice char on the outside. And what I did, let it cool, and then I put it in the freezer for about an hour. We did this all in the oven, and now we're gonna slice it. Now, why did I put it in the freezer?
So you can thinly
Jeffrey,
slice it.
So you can thinly slice it. Let me
Sorry,
shave
teacher.
it.
Now you got that super sharp knife, super sharp. Like this is when you need your utensil ready. I'm slicing these guys as thin as possible, and you got that marbling in there. Look at that beautiful cut right there. Then the cheese. I want 2 squares of good old aged cheddar. Just a kiss of heat. Just a kiss. Just a little
That ain't right.
bit of that. How you doing? I'm the pink. Quick little sauce, little Scotch bonnet aioli.
Oh
little
my
Scotch bonnet
God.
hot sauce. Some stone ground mustard. This is all over mayonnaise.
Oh, you crazy.
Just a little bit of honey to tie it all together. And I like a nice little zested clove of garlic that evenly distributes. I'm keeping an eye on my cheese now. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very important. And we mix this. Oh, yeah. Do a little bit of chimichurri on top as well.
Oh, look
Double
at that.
saucing this. Now I'm gonna take that,
Yeah.
right?
Do it.
Give it a little flippy,
Yeah.
just like that. Done. It's going right on top of that chimichurri. Look at that.
Yes, Jeff. Yep. Ah!
Oh my God.
How you doing? How you been? Jeff Morrow is your friend. That is the cheese I was looking for. I'm gonna go. I'm going bias cut, Alex.
I hear it.
I heard it.
Oh, yeah.
This is the most quiet all of us have been in a very long time.
I'm over here eating a salad.
Fantastic. Bombastic. Unbelievable. All hail the king. I'm so sorry I called you a jester.
That's true,
So wrong with me.
My Chicago-style Italian beef sandwich. Vibrant green bell peppers here. Nice and about like, I don't know, like inch-long strips. Ton of oil, little granulated garlic, salt and pepper in a pan, into the oven. We're gonna let them roast. Now we got that chuck roast, right? Salt and pepper. I got a Dutch oven here. We're gonna add a little oil, and right in there it goes, and you're gonna hear that sound. This roll has about 6 sides to it. So you wanna make sure that you're looking like that. We got that beautiful rendered fat in here. We're gonna add just 1 chopped yellow onion, a little more salt to help sweat out those onions. Of course, a couple cloves of garlic chopped right in here, and some dried Italian seasoning, crushed red chili flakes here. We're gonna hit it with about a cup of good red wine. We're gonna add our beef stock. So we're making a braising liquid, right? About 350 till it gets a little toothsome, but you still want it pliable. Look at these guys. Now that's what you want them looking like, swimming in oil. Great little fresh thyme in there, and we're gonna nestle it in there till it's a little over half covered, about 75% covered. And we're gonna put it in the oven at 300 for about 3 hours, and we're gonna turn it a couple times, right? And that's what we're looking like, right? Why don't you start shredding this for me, buddy? Here I got the braising liquid, which we have strained and reduced a little bit. Okay, so look at these beautiful rolls here. I got some of this beautifully seasoned per my instruction. The sweet and hot, so we got the sweet peppers. We're gonna drag it through the river.
Jardiniere.
You wanna make sure you get that oil that kind of drips down like that. All we did was rub this bread too in some of the oil from the jardiniere and dry toast it for a little bit.
Smart.
Okay. The fat, the heat, the dip, you got it, man. You nailed it.
Apple, cheddar, and brie grilled cheese, right? It's like a fall charcuterie board in sandwich form. Starting with the bread, we got some cranberry walnut bread, right? Low, fresh, right from the bakery.
Bread.
Beautiful. The first thing I like to do before I start building my grilled cheese, right? It may seem sacrilege, but I like to spread butter, room temperature butter, on the outside. And how are we spreading this, kids?
Crust to crust.
Is a must, always, right? Just enough to coat it.
Why is that? Because
some people just drop the butter in the pan.
Oh, okay, I've
right?
done
And then
that.
you burn up the butter, you brown half the butter or whatever. And this way you get all the butter you need, full coverage, right? So you get that golden brown crust that we all love to. So I'm gonna get going with this one, starting with some very sharp cheddar cheese. Right, love it. Now I'm holding it like this so I don't get the butter on the board. You see as I'm doing here? Next, you take 3 slices of Granny Smith apples.
And your bread, might I add, is thin sliced bread.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not regulation.
It's not regulation. Next, watch this. I'm just gonna kind of keep it like that. We got some of my favorite ingredient on the planet. Nice little kind of tang and heat you need with this. Some cherry pepper relish, right? So this is gonna go on this end. And we're gonna spread this ever so gingerly. Again, crust to crust. So every bite, you get a little, it packs that punch, right? Now, of course, this is not in a lot of grilled cheeses these days, but I'm putting it on mine since it is fall. The funkiest, the funnest melting cheese, a little brie, 2 slices of that. And there you got the ingredients for the interior, right? We got the flavor inside that bread with the cranberries. So you got sweetness, you got spice, you got butter, you got sharp cheddar, you got funky brie, you got spicy.
You know what else you got?
What else you got?
Fullified.
Oh! Look at this pan, right? And what temperature do we cook grilled cheeses at, right?
I'm doing medium high.
Medium low, actually.
Oh, yeah? Because you want to melt that inside.
This is actually, I can already tell this is a little hot, right? So I don't want it to, so what happens, right? You end up toasting the exterior of the bread too quickly, and the inside's still cold, and we really want all these flavors to melt. Brie is pretty hearty. I mean, it melts nice, but it needs a fair amount of heat. So this is going right on there. Gentle sizzle. And to help mimic that dome, like we do at the diner, we're just gonna do a nice little lid on this, right? And we're just gonna let it kind of very low, like medium low, almost touching low, okay? We're gonna flip it once, put the lid back on. How do we know it's done? The inside looks gooey. It looks ready to go. But another thing you can do to help expedite it, and I've done this in this pan, is that you could do it in 2 seconds. Right, so I just want to show you guys. It's not cheating, right? If you're doing 4 sandwiches, obviously do it this way. But if you're just doing 2 or 1, this way you can kind of get everything nice and toasty in the middle. So we can sit there.
Oh, look at that bread.
Beautiful. That
cheese.
That's it right there, right? So every great sandwich needs a great sauce or dipping thing. Yeah, so we got some great stone ground Dijon mustard. Add a little honey to this and just a little mayonnaise. Quick pantry pull, right from the fridge, and you make a creamy honey Dijon. which also pairs so nice with this. And we could put this right in a little sidecar here so we could dip it in. Look at that.
I'll never forget, first time ever I had a grilled cheese with ketchup. It was in
Whoa.
Denmark.
Oh, I like a grilled cheese with ketchup, yeah.
So good.
Wow.
I love a dip now.
Okay, let me, actually, I need a knife for this because we must.
So you can
cut
use
this.
you could use other cheese that like manchego, mozzarella, Gouda.
Manchego would be great, Gruyere too, anything kind of nutty and hearty, right? But what I like about using both the brie, it's got a totally different texture with the cheddar. Cheddar is not, it's a good melting cheese, but after a certain point, it kind of stops at that pullability, you know? So you get the flavor of the sharpness from the cheddar with the
I'll
funkiness.
tell you, you have a party and you've got leftover cheese from your cheese board. This is the perfect thing to make.
Beautiful. Oh man, this is gooey. This is gooey.
The spill.
Look at the spill it. Look at that.
Pass that over here.
All right, who wants some?
I want some.
All right, I'm gonna plate it nice for you. I'm gonna
I
give
want
you a little.
those gooey bites.
Okay, we won't deny you that.
Oh.
Look at that. So easy. All right, you guys want to try it too, huh?
Qualify my palate, Jeff.
See, I'm putting this brie bite right back on there. Oh, man.
I get so excited, don't I?
Yes.
I don't
so
get to make a
light.
lot of sandwiches here, so when I do, I like to really lay it on.
Jeff, it's so well balanced, having that kind of sweet tart apple on there, then the spicy relish kicks in, and the creamy,
I didn't make one for myself.
funky brie, and the sharp cheddar, and then you've got the really good mustard honey sauce.
Cubano slider!
Hey!
Cubanos! Kids, you know what's in a Cubano? Pork.
Ham.
Yes.
Swiss cheese, pickles, mustard.
That's it. And like,
It's all about the bread,
it's
though.
all about that
It's all
Cuban
about
bread.
that
So we are gonna start with our bread here, these slider buns. We got some nice potato rolls here. So we're just gonna lop that kind of across the equator. Now we got our 9x14 here. I got all my ingredients, starting with some melted butter. We're gonna make a quick little mojo sauce to help add some more flavor to our pork that
That's
we're
a
gonna put in a
misnomer.
second. What?
Because mojo is actually sauce.
Yeah, mojo
Like a
means sauce.
Sauce.
It's like
saying,
ragu.
Smart.
It's like saying shrimp
Like-
scampi, which I hate. People
Yeah,
say,
shrimp
lots of shrimp scampi. I'm like, what?
So we're gonna add to this garlic, essential part of any mojo, plus our citrus ingredients, which is the zest of an orange and a lime, some cumin, we got some fresh herbs too in the form of oregano and parsley.
So with this butter, you're kind of mimicking what the pork would normally marinate in.
Exactly, because what I did was do a little shortcut, because this is a time saver, and we are just grabbing some pulled pork or plain pork from the deli aisle or the hot bar or the grab and go and shredding it ourselves. You can get, if you can find a pork loin in the deli, a lot of times you can get sliced pork loin or smoked pork loin. It's a great application, but
Straight
this
down?
is what they had, yeah.
Any
You know what, I'm
oil?
just gonna put a little
Do it.
Boutros butter on there. Just to kind of help with the nonstick, a little more flavoring.
I'll take it.
But what you want to do is kind of let this steep for a couple minutes, let it mix up, and you can smell the garlic and the citrus. And it's wonderful. It's both sweet and funky at the same time.
I like sweet and funky.
Now, I'm gonna have you start layering, of course, the ham.
No problem.
Integral part of any Cuban. So, but like I always say, Sonny,
Little
ribbon it up
piles.
across
problem.
on both things, right?
Done.
We got this going, all right? This doesn't need much, right? That garlic was, zested or minced. We're just gonna put a little bit, make sure you mix it up into that pork directly. So you get a little hydration in there. Oh, it smells so good. Here we go. So we are going to now, I'm gonna add my pork to this. Again, any pork will do as long as it's double pork.
I'm so making this for the next Beagle family get-together. This is like...
Is this right up their alley, the Biggs family?
So up the alley.
All right, we got the ham, of course. We need some good old dill pickles on there.
I just wanted to touch the pork, sorry.
That's all right, how did it feel?
Felt good, felt succulent.
That's good.
I like
That's-
that you added the butter to it to kind of bring it back to life out
Layers
of
of
that pack that
flavors.
you bought. Yeah, this
Swiss
is
cheese,
smart.
right? I wonder where that came from with the, I don't know the history too
good
much of the
melty.
Cuban. It's great melty. And you know what? Sometimes like cheddar, stuff like that gets lost. You always taste a melted Swiss. It's got that
do.
nuttiness to it.
You know, you're right. Cheddar does get lost. If you over melt it, it just kind of disappears.
And then it doesn't stay well. It always kind of gets hard. This is like gooey for days. And don't be afraid for a little overhang on this too, because then you get the cheesy drip down, turns into lacy, crusty cheese, right?
It's all about the bubbling up the sides.
Beautiful. Now, Sonny, if you can...
Slather?
Yeah, help me slather here.
This is a Detroit-style Cuban
Detroit style. I like that.
Sorry. You know, last year when we had our end of the year, whose recipe won, you know, the whole year thing.
Did you win that?
It was the sliders.
You did, with the sliders.
Yeah, these things, I'm telling you, this is game day.
Hey, America seems to love these.
So what kind of mustard are you using there, Jeff?
Yellow mustard.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Right over the top?
Just good old, line it up. I forget which one was which. You remember? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Now we're gonna mix this up. Give me a big spoon. We got a big spoon here somewhere. Now I get to pour this over the top. All that mojo.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
And this
Slow
is just gonna
motion.
create just like a glistening, shiny top bun.
We're not
That is
worthy.
obviously
The magic is when you uncover it and it crisps up and you get that buttery, golden, crunchy top.
we're doing
Do
it
it.
all.
All right, hey.
Oh.
All right, why not?
Okay. Okay. Let me do you the honors.
Yeah, do me the honors.
I'll give you a slice.
So we are putting this in the oven, 375, for about 20 minutes until it starts getting all homogeneous and melty. So it could take about 20 to 30 minutes, just check on it. And then we're gonna uncover it and kind of blast it with a little direct heat for a minute. I got one ready to go here.
You know what these slider bakes remind me of? They're kind of like monkey bread, you know, that you're pulling
Pull
apart.
The cheese
This
is
is like
gooey.
a savory moment.
Oh, you don't want to show us? Is that what that was? Okay.
I uncovered it. I hit it with a little heat, right? Crisped it up a little bit, but it's
I was gonna
still
say, listen.
supple. You gotta have a little crispiness, right? All right, I got a little knife somewhere over here.
Oh, yeah?
Sonny. Let me
Oh, did I
grab that.
kill it for you? Sorry, I brought it over here. I was
That's all right,
cleaning up.
thank you. Now you can get in there. Sometimes you can use the spat, but if not, you can get it all.
There are just so many different ways to make these sliders, but a Cubano, it's so smart.
I want a middle one, Jeff.
I'm a middle piece kind of guy too.
Really?
Oh,
My
look at that.
God.
That's
Look
one
at
serving.
that.
Now that's just one serving.
Yeah, that's one serving.
You know what?
Stop the presses right now.
Sonny, I will let you do the honors.
Okay.
I'll cut it for you.
No, I got it. I was gonna go in on it.
I want that one right there.
Go ahead. Which one would you like to choose there?
It's a nice little hot contained packet. I was doing this, I don't know if you can hear the... That's nice and crunchy and toasty.
Well, Cubano is pressed, right? So you do need some texture on there.
Look at those layers.
I'm trying to get you just a middle piece here, Katie. You look at all this work I'm doing. But so easy.
That's the one I want.
And talk about something easy to throw in the car, bring to your tailgate, bring to your party, bring to your christening, whatever you're celebrating.
Kids would like this too.
Jeff,
Tell me what.
I love this. Let me tell you why I love this. Let me count the ways. One, it's like a dream come true.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
A little aggressive, but
when you get a normal Cubano, you've got, it's cold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's got the cheese in it, it's got the ham in it, it's got the mustard, pickles, everything that you would expect. It's good. This is really taking it to another level being warm. The bread is warm, the cheese is gooey.
Well, my boys just called, and guess what? They're hungry. How unusual for them. Just kidding. Now they're on their way up here, and I'm gonna make them one of their favorite sandwiches, Pahuska cheesesteaks. They're really drippy, really delicious, and the boys go nuts for them. It's really, really simple. I'm just swirling some butter around in the pan. And I'm using deli roast beef. It's really delicious. It's already cooked. I don't have to worry about that. I'm just gonna drop it into the skillet, break it up as I drop it in there. These sandwiches are a little bit of a riff on Philly cheesesteaks, of course. Now, I have a lot of friends in Philly, and I have found they are very protective of the original. These aren't quite as authentic. They may be just as delicious, though. Okay, now I'm just gonna move the beef around. Now, just for a little bit more flavor, a few dashes of Worcestershire sauce. All right, stir it around. Now, while the beef heats up, I'll get the veggies ready. I've got a red bell pepper, and I'll just slice off the top, pull the seeds out. and then just slice it into rings. Okay, now the beef has been warming up. It looks perfect. It didn't get too far past the pink stage. Get it out of the pan. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, now I'll crank up the temp on the skillet because I want it to be nice and hot. And I'll add a little bit more butter to the pan. Now I'm just gonna throw the veggies in the pan. I've got the onion and all the bell peppers. Whenever I buy bell peppers, I usually buy them in 3 different colors because I think the combination is so great. All right, now I'll let these peppers cook and I'll get the rolls ready for the cheese steaks. I'm using deli rolls and I've got the rest of the stick of softened butter. And I'll just spread the butter right on the rolls and put them cut side down right on the griddle. I'm using smaller deli rolls because these sandwiches are so filling and so decadent. You really don't need a very big one. All right, I'm just gonna let these rolls go until they're nice and golden and slightly crisp. Okay, the cheese is nice and melted. Now, one of the things I like to do to redeem this cheese in a jar is doctor it up a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of cayenne pepper. It just gives it a little bit of a zip, makes it a little more interesting. And then some regular black pepper. And then I'll just stir this up. It is a little bit more visually interesting too. You see little flecks of black and red. Now everything's ready to go. I've just gotta build the sandwiches. And again, these rolls are little, so I'm really gonna lay it on. Plenty of peppers and onions. Okay, now the fun part, the cheese sauce. This is what makes these sandwiches cheese steaks. Those boys are gonna go nuts for these. My favorite boys. How are you?
Sandwich.
Are you hungry or what?
Yeah. This is gonna be some good sandwich.
Look at your brother. He's totally going for it.
Fantastic.
Cheers, Todd.
Cheers.
Cheers, Bryce. That is good. The kids are on their way to the writing lesson, so I'm gonna start throwing together some sloppy joes for later. Good old meaty, wonderful, drippy, messy sloppy joes. I just love them. Okay, the meat's all browned up. So the first thing I need to do is drain the fat. I'll leave a little bit for flavor. Okay, much, much better. Now I've got half of a medium onion that I diced. I'll throw that in. And a green pepper. And then I have 5 cloves of minced garlic. These sloppy joes are mighty flavorful. Now the basis of the sloppy joe sauce is good old ketchup. I'm gonna squeeze in probably a cup and a half or so. Okay, and then I'll add 2 heaping tablespoons of brown sugar just to give the sauce a little sweetness. Is that heaping enough for you? Some salt and pepper. It's a lot of meat we're seasoning here. And then for some really great flavor, I add a couple of teaspoons of chili powder. It adds a little spice too, but really gives it a nice kick. And then a heaping teaspoon of dry mustard. Gives it some nice tang. And then for a little bit more of a kick, I'll just add a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes. And then several dashes of Worcestershire just to give it some nice savoriness. Okay, and then because I'm that kind of gal, a couple dashes of hot sauce. 2 or 3 or 4. And then I'll just add a cup of water to kind of bring all this together and make a really yummy sauce out of it. Now I'll just kind of stir it all together and see what I've got. And I usually adjust things here and there. It looks like it could use a little more ketchup, a little more depth of color. Squeeze a little more in there. All right, now I've got this just where I want it. So I'm just gonna put the lid on and let it simmer for about 25 minutes or so. I got some food up at the lodge for you guys, so you can go heat it up and chow down.
What are you gonna do?
Where are you going?
I'm feel like riding, I think.
Where's the horse at at, Todd?
So I have a date with your horse, Alex.
Good.
See you guys later. Have a good one. Bye, Lee.
You have a good ride. Get on the left side.
I know. I don't get no respect. Hey, let's go. Go, Pee-wee.
Smells good.
Yeah. I wonder how Mom's getting along on her horse.
I don't know, last time I saw her, she was going over that hill over there. And she's on your horse, there ain't no telling where she went.
Chicken Caesar party sub. I have really thin chicken cutlets in a bowl, and I added some lemon zest, and I'm going in with quite a bit of store-bought pesto and salt and pepper. Simple, simple. All right, this chicken is totally coated, so I'm gonna put it onto a hot grill pan, and I'm gonna go ahead and make the Caesar dressing. So I'm gonna start with some mayonnaise and a squirt of Dijon mustard, and then some minced garlic. I like to add anchovies to my Caesar salad dressing, and then I'll sprinkle in some salt and pepper and a good amount of lemon juice. All right, ooh, that's a juicy lemon. And then a bunch of grated Parmesan cheese, which gives the Caesar dressing just such amazing texture. All right, gonna let the food processor do all the work. Ooh, that looks good. Caesar dressing is good to go. So now it's time to turn the chicken cutlets. So these need to go for another 3 to 4 minutes on the second side, and then I'll toast the baguette and show you how to build this sandwich. So I split a baguette in half and I drizzled it generously with olive oil, and now I'm gonna sprinkle it generously with Parmesan. You could also do this to the outside of the bread if you prefer it that way, or you could do it to both the inside and the outside. All right, I'm gonna spread the Parmesan so it's in an even layer. And now this is gonna go under the broiler for about 3 to 4 minutes until it's toasted and golden. Ooh, boy, so much amazing flavor. So I'll get this onto the board. Ooh, hot. And I'm gonna show you how to build this chicken Caesar party sub. First thing I'm gonna do is spread some of the Caesar dressing on this toasted Parmesan bread. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and put the chicken on the bottom baguette half. And I'm not even cutting it up, I'm just laying it edge to edge, and just make sure the chicken is sort of covering all of the surface of the bread. I love the color of roasted bell peppers. Again, just kind of move them around so they're evenly on there. So I'm gonna push the sandwich to the side just for a sec. And I have some really thinly sliced romaine lettuce, which is Caesar salad lettuce. I'm gonna toss it with a bunch of this dressing. Alrighty, now I'm going to carefully pile this dressed lettuce onto the sandwich. Okay, I got most of that piled on there. Not too bad. So yes, the top half of the baguette goes on top. And then I'll just give it a little press. Now, if you want to, you can stick some toothpicks strategically here and there just to keep it together. Look at this, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and cut a couple of slices and show you what this looks like. Some of it is falling out onto this board, but that is okay. So I've got a pretty board to serve it on. And I'll put the main sandwich there. And the 2 little pieces go on the end, and then everybody can see what it's all about. A fried red tomato sandwich. I just sliced 2 thick slices of a red tomato, and I'm gonna make the breading. In one bowl goes an egg, and I'll just whisk it, cornmeal, cornstarch, salt, and pepper, and stir this together. So I'll take 1 slice of tomato at a time and totally coat it in the egg, and And then I want to get as much of this cornmeal mixture on the outside as I possibly can. Okay, then it goes straight into an iron skillet. I've just got some vegetable oil heating over medium-high heat. Now I'm gonna let these cook on the first side until they get nice and crisp. Ooh, that looks good. So while they finish on the second side, I'm gonna get the bread ready. Real mayonnaise, spread it out on both sides. With a little salt and pepper. Okay, I'm gonna check on the tomato slices. I think they are good, so I'm just gonna put them on paper towels and drain off most of the grease. Just stagger the slices. Does this look good or what? But I do have a little fresh basil. Put the second half on. Oh my goodness. What a beauty. So I am going to make waffle witches, which, as my oldest daughter just pointed out, is a sandwich made in a waffle maker, but I am never content just to make one boring old sandwich. So I'm gonna make 4 different sandwiches at the same time. I'm gonna assemble all the sandwiches first. So the first variety is a turkey bacon sandwich, and I've got 2 slices of wheat bread. I spread on Dijon mustard. I put some folded pieces of turkey on there, and I am laying the bacon on thick. So I'm also adding some thinly sliced red onion, some spinach, and I'm gonna lay on 2 pieces of cheese. I was supposed to put this on first, but I forgot. I like to admit my mistakes. Now I'm gonna move on to the Reuben. So it starts with some swirly rye bread. That is hard to say fast 3 times. And I'm gonna add some Thousand Island dressing. Oops, that was a lot. And I'll spread the Thousand Island on there. So 2 pieces of Swiss cheese. Is that weird? So then I've got some pastrami. And then to make this a really authentic Reuben, gotta have sauerkraut. I love a good Reuben sandwich. Do you guys like Reubens?
Oh yeah, I love a Reuben.
So now for the third variety, I'm gonna make a roast beef sandwich. And I started with some horseradish mayo, just to give it a little heat. I love horseradish heat because it's not on your tongue or in your mouth. It gets up in your nose. I've got some slices of provolone. I've got some really good quality roast beef. And then pepperoncinis. I love these things. They're really thinly sliced. So this is the roast beef. And finally, I had to have a sweet option. I'm gonna do a fluffernutter using cinnamon raisin bread. Wait, cinnamon bread. There's no raisins in there.
I was about to say.
So a fluffernutter, for those of you who were born after 1980, is basically a sandwich made with peanut butter and marshmallow cream. There is no excuse for it whatsoever. There is nothing redeeming about it. It's just one of those comfort foods from childhood. Usually a fluffernutter is just peanut butter and marshmallow cream, but I'm gonna go against my belief system and add some sliced bananas. I hate bananas with a fiery passion, but I was afraid that the fluffernutter would not have enough volume to hold up to the rest of the sandwiches. And I couldn't really think of anything else to put in here. So one secret to any grilled sandwich is you've got to get a lot of butter on the bread because that makes it get really golden and crisp, and it's the whole purpose of a grilled sandwich, let's face it. So now the trick is getting it onto the waffle makers. So I'm just gonna put one in each well, starting with the Reuben. So face down, obviously you wanna put the butter side down, and then the turkey bacon. What a fun idea this is. And then the fluffernutter. Okay, and then obviously we cannot close this waffle maker without a really generous application of butter. So this is on about medium-low because I want the cheese to be able to melt. This is gonna take just a few minutes. Here we go. Look, Alex.
Wow.
Waffle witches for the win. Oh my gosh, that swirl is wonderful. So this is the roast beef sandwich. Here comes the floofernutter. Oh, I have to say, as awful and horrible as bananas are, it doesn't look too bad. Look. Oh, how good does that look? And then the fluffernutter, gosh, doesn't mean I'm gonna eat it, but it doesn't look too bad. All right, who wants what?
I want the turkey bacon.
There you go. Mauricio? I kind of thought you'd go for the fluffernutter. Stewie.
I want the banana one.
You do? I would like you to get this out of my house as soon as possible. Waffle Witches, I'm sold.
That's so good.
This one has to be the best one. The smoky okie. I've got flour, salt, pepper, and I'm gonna add some onion powder and garlic powder. And then to give the breading a little bit of a lighter texture, I'm adding some cornstarch. And I will stir this together until it is totally mixed. And I'm gonna go ahead and get the chicken in to fry. I'll give it a good dredge in the dry mixture first, and then shake off the excess. And then I'm putting it into a dish with nothing but beaten egg. So turn it over, let the excess drip off, and then back into the flour mixture. All right, this looks good. So it goes into a pan of hot peanut oil. It's on about 375 degrees. In about 3 minutes, they're crispy and ready to turn. And 3 more minutes on the second side, and they're done. I have a brioche bun that has been toasted with some butter. It's nice and crisp. And I have some store-bought garlic aioli, garlic mayonnaise. The garlic flavor of the aioli really, really adds something special to the smoky okie. So on top of the aioli, I'll add a piece of chicken, and this is unapologetically big. You don't want to trim it neatly so it fits just right. You want it to kind of be sticking out the sides. So now, another thing that makes a smoky okie is this maple chipotle glaze. I just put 2 tablespoons of adobo sauce from a can of chipotles in a pot with 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, a tablespoon of brown sugar, and a tablespoon of low-sodium soy sauce. I mixed everything together and simmered the sauce for 5 minutes for the sugar to dissolve. And it's absolutely amazing drizzled over the fried chicken. So then on top of the glazed chicken, I'll add a couple of slices of tomato. And then we like to use shredded romaine lettuce. It just adds kind of a little crispy lightness to the top of the sandwich. So last but not least, 2 slices of thick cut cooked bacon. Just kind of crisscross it. And then the top half of the brioche bun goes on. So I'll transfer this over. And we just serve our smoky okies with house-made fried chips, but any kind of chip or potato is just fine. Smoky okie. I'm making dinner for my husband and me tonight, and I knew I wanted to make him his favorite sandwich on earth. We've made this sandwich for years in our house, and it's basically just a big meat fest. He's what you would call a meat and potatoes guy. So I'll make the basic sandwich the same for both of us, but at the end, I'll bring out all sorts of ingredients from the fridge and pile mine high with cheese and tomato, and I might even freak my husband out and add some arugula. This is truly a his and hers situation. Okay, I've got some onions sauteing in some butter. I brown the onions and meat separately because I just want to give them both a chance to get some nice color. So I'm just going to coat the iron skillet with more butter. Again, this will not be the last you see of the butter. And season the meat with just a little salt, a little bit of pepper, cayenne if you like a little spice. When the skillet is smoking, it's time to throw it in. Okay, and in go the onions. Give this a stir. And now I'm gonna add Worcestershire. Several dashes of Worcestershire. This is a really savory, rich sandwich. And you wanna have quite a bit of liquid. Okay, that's good. The kids are gone, so we can get pretty spicy. And I can handle it, so I really go to town on the Tabasco. I think that was exactly 13 dashes of Tabasco. But you can add or subtract depending on your tolerance for heat. And then, just to be extra sinful, a little more butter in the pan. And I'll just let that simmer, let the butter melt, and talk about rich. I mean, this is delicious.
I think she's making my favorite steak sandwich, which is a strip steak sandwich with sauteed onions. It's something we eat not really on a special occasion, but it's kind of more of something we just treat ourselves to. I don't think she would mess with my sandwich. I think she knows that I like it the way I like it, so I don't think she'd mess with it.
I've actually had people make this sandwich for my husband and me, and without fail, the rolls just never quite seem to have enough butter. And they really should be drowning in butter and then golden brown on the surface. You can soften the butter ahead of time and spread it on the rolls, but I rarely plan that far in advance. And then have the rolls, and as you're putting them on the griddle, take it as an opportunity to swipe it along the melted butter. Just make sure it absorbs as much as possible. You know what? I think I'm gonna do another roll for Lad. He's been working hard today and he probably needs it. And look, it fits perfectly, so it's a sign. He needs a second sandwich. Okay, we've got meat on mine and meat on my husband's sandwich, and that's where the similarity ends. Lad would not approve of what I'm about to do. It's totally against his religion. I'm gonna add a couple of thick slices of mozzarella and then a couple of thick slices of tomatoes. And then I'm gonna pile it high with arugula, which is gonna give it a fresh, green, kind of peppery flavor. Yum. Spicy chicken sandwiches. So I'm making a breading assembly line for the chicken. So I've got some flour, cayenne pepper, and salt, super simple. And then I've got some beaten eggs, and I'm gonna add buttermilk and some hot sauce, Louisiana hot sauce, by the way.
Louisiana.
And then I just have a bowl of panko breadcrumbs, which makes them nice and crispy. And I'm gonna go ahead and bread the chicken first. So I have chicken cutlets, which is basically a chicken breast that's cut in half through the middle to make two thinner breasts. So first I'll dunk it in the flour. This is like a proper breading assembly line. Then into the egg buttermilk mixture, and then into the panko breadcrumbs, and then everything sticks. The flour that you put on the chicken first helps the breading stick. It just creates kind of a glue. Just so you know, in case anybody asks you to justify your breading actions. Okay, so look at this page. It's gonna be totally crispy. So I've got one chicken breast breaded. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other three. All right, before I fry the chicken, I'm actually gonna make the spicy sauce that the chicken's gonna get dunked in. So, Louisiana hot sauce, this is where most of that bottle went. And butter. Hello, it doesn't get any simpler than that, does it? And then I'll stir this together. And it's good to have this all ready to go. You don't really even need to heat it up. In fact, it's better if you don't. It sticks better that way. Okay, so the sauce is ready. So now it's time to fry the chicken. I have a mixture of oil and butter, and I've got the skillet on about medium-high heat. So I'm gonna put them in. top side down so they'll be really pretty. And I'm gonna cook these on both sides until they're golden brown and totally cooked through. The chicken is looking great. So look how pretty. Crispy and lush, buttery and golden and beautiful. Okay, so taking them out of the skillet, and then, you guessed it, take one of the chicken breasts and just plop it into the sauce. You want to be careful not to be too rough on it so it doesn't completely fall apart. And then the chicken goes on the bun. And then I don't believe in a whole lot of stuff on top, except I do believe in pickles. I believe in this sandwich, I'll tell you that. Italian pork sandwiches. So I'm making the seasoning mix for the pork first. And it started with a tablespoon of dried fennel, a tablespoon of rosemary, and then 2 teaspoons each of garlic salt and oregano, and then 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, just a very simple seasoning blend. Okay, I am gonna use pork tenderloin for these pork sandwiches. So I started with 2 whole pork tenderloins, and I just cut them in half, and I'm gonna just completely encrust them in this seasoning blend. I'm gonna use tongs. So I have an iron skillet over medium-high heat, and here I go. The first thing I'm gonna do is sear the pork. So obviously, if you're making Italian pork sandwiches, you can use any pork you want. You can do pork chops, pork shoulder, low and slow, cook it and then shred it. But I really wanted to do pork tenderloin because it slices up so nice and neat, and it tastes so good. Anything you season it with on the outside, that's kind of the amazing flavor the whole thing will take on. Okay, so I just need to move these little pieces of pork around in the skillet until they're totally seared on all sides. Okay, those look pretty good to me. They're golden brown on all sides, but they're still totally uncooked in the middle. And that's where the oven comes in. So Alex, would you like to go to the oven with me? I sear them in the skillet to get the color, but I'm gonna put them in the oven to finish them off. So here we go. Ready? I'm gonna follow them into the oven. All right. So those are gonna cook at 350 for about 18 to 20 minutes, and then we'll finish off the sandwich. Okay, the pork smells so good, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see how it looks, though.
Oh, baby.
Oh, it's sizzling away. Look at that.
Yum.
It's getting heavy. I was trying to be a tough girl. Whew, boy, oh boy, that was some heavy pork. The first thing I'm gonna do is put the pork on a cutting board because it needs to rest. Resting is really essential when you take meat out of the oven like this because it'll allow the juices to kind of redistribute in the meat. But look at the underside, how tasty that looks. Look how dark and luscious that got on that iron skillet. Okay, so I have some other things to make for the sandwiches. I'm gonna make a simple mayo, and that's just mayo, along with some lemon zest. Lemon zest, and a clove of garlic. Bryce just started his senior year yesterday. Can you believe that? When Mauricio first burst onto the scene, Bryce was what, like 8th grade, 9th grade?
It's true.
So the mayo is just mayonnaise, lemon zest, and garlic. So that's gonna go on the sandwiches. And then the other thing that I like to pile on is just arugula with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of, what is this?
Balsamic.
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 Yeah.
See, I say balsamic, and I feel like a fraud when I say balsamic because everybody knows I say balsamic. And I know it's wrong, but I've said it this long, and it's just our country roots. Okay, so that's just a simple arugula. So now that the pork has rested, I'm gonna slice one of the pieces. So this is a really great tailgate recipe because you can get all the buns ready. As you can tell, I got my buns ready.
Is that some ciabatta?
That's some ciabatta rolls. And I just toasted them with some olive oil, and I'm gonna add a generous amount of the mayo to both halves. I don't believe in thin applications of mayo to anything. I really like it to kind of squeeze out the sides of the sandwich. Okay, and then the pork is the most important, so I will just kind of fit as many pieces as I can. Okay, now Mauricio's gonna try. So back to the sandwich. The other thing, I love to add roasted red peppers right out of the jar. And I don't like to cut them or slice them. I just like to have these big slabs. And look how pretty. You can stop it right there, or you can pile on the arugula, which I like to do. You know, I'm happiest in life when I'm piling on the arugula. Just saying. Okay, look, I like to put on so much that you can hardly imagine getting the lid on.
The lid?
Yep.
The lid?
That's what I call it. All right, now look at this. That is what you call an Italian pork sandwich. Absolutely stunning. I've got a green chili. This is an Anaheim, and I've been holding it over this open flame. My goal is to get this thing as black as I can, and it's just about there. I'm gonna whip up the best grilled cheese sandwich ever, and I mean it, it really is the best. That looks good. Now I'm gonna put it into a plastic bag right away and seal it up, and then after a while the skin's gonna loosen and I'll peel it off. There are lots of different components to this grilled cheese sandwich, and that's part of what makes it so good. Got the chili in the bag. Now I'll move on to the red onion. I'm just gonna use about a half an onion. All right, I'm gonna throw the onion into a bowl. And then I'm kind of sensitive to raw onion, so I'm gonna pour a little bit of vinegar over the top. And then as the onions sit, it's gonna take away a little bit of that pungent onion flavor. I'm gonna make a special sauce, and that is nothing but a tablespoon of mayo and a tablespoon of Dijon. The sauce goes inside the sandwich, and it just adds a little bit of tang, a little bit of moisture. It's really good. Okay, now I'll stir that together. So easy. All right. Now I've got the green chili that's been inside the plastic bag. Oh, and it smells so good. I love that. Now the skin just slides right off. I don't clean it completely because I kind of like those little black flecks. They give it a nice roasted flavor. Okay, now I'll just slice off the top, and then I'll split the chili open, and then just use the dull side of the knife to scrape out the seeds. All right, I've got all the components ready, so I'm gonna start building this wonderful sandwich. Now for the bread, I'm using pumpernickel rye swirl. All right, I'm gonna just put a spoonful of the sauce on each half, and then just spread it in a really thin layer. You don't want it to be gloopy, you just want it to add a little bit of flavor and moisture. Okay, now of course, the best grilled cheese sandwich ever has to start with cheese. So I'll lay on 2 slices of provolone. And now I'll lay on 2 slices of tomato, and then more cheese. I'm gonna do sharp cheddar next. And then I'll lay the green chili on top of the cheddar. I'm gonna use the whole darn thing. And then I'm gonna lay on a few of the onion slices that have been soaking in the vinegar. Now to hold all this together, I'm gonna add 2 more slices of provolone. This is a grilled cheese sandwich after all. All right, the other piece of bread. And then the very last thing I do to the grilled cheese is slather lots of butter on both sides of the bread. Make sure the butter's really soft. You want the bread to get nice and crispy, nice and golden brown. Okay, now I'll start by putting the sandwich face down on the skillet, and then I'll butter the top side. That makes it easier. I haven't figured out another way to butter both sides of the sandwich and not get butter all over the place. The cheese is melting and going everywhere. Oh my goodness. smells divine. I'm just gonna cut it right down the middle. Oh my, this is a very, very good thing right here. Lad and the kids are over at my brother-in-law Tim's ranch working cattle. So I have grabbed this moment of calm to whip up some breakfast foods for my freezer. I'm starting with a batch of breakfast panini. Really delicious, and it's really fun to make them in big batches. I'm starting by buttering the bread generously, and that is the secret to these breakfast panini. Now, I've already got a batch in the panini maker. I actually built a sandwich with nothing inside, and that's what I'm gonna do for these freezer panini. Because the panini are gonna go into the freezer and be reheated, I didn't wanna put the fillings in and press them now. So I'm gonna let the toasted bread cool, then I'll fill them up with the breakfast ingredients, and then I'll pack them for the freezer. That way, when I heat them up, the cheese will be freshly melted and just perfect. So I'm putting 4 slices in the panini maker, butter side down, of course, and then I'll put the second piece of bread, butter side up, on top of each one. So I'll close the lid. Now that's just gonna take a few minutes to get done. Now the toast will have plenty of time to cool, and that'll give me time to whip up the filling for the panini. This is gonna be a ham, cheese, and green chili batch of panini. I have a skillet of butter, and I wanna heat up the ham first for no other reason than to just get some good color on the outside. So I'm gonna let this sit, and I'm gonna whip up the egg mixture for the panini. I've got a whole bunch of eggs in a pitcher, and I'm adding a generous amount of half and half. I'll sprinkle in salt and pepper, and I'll give this a really good whisk. It'll be my morning workout routine. Usually my morning workout does involve food in some way. Okay, the egg mixture is nice and smooth. So I will check on the ham. I can already tell it's getting really brown. I'm gonna turn the heat back down. So now it comes out of the skillet. Oh, I love sizzly cooked ham. See those little brown bits around the edge? There are some beautiful juices from the ham in the pan. I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit more butter. And now that the heat is a little bit lower, I'm gonna pour in the egg mixture. This is a lot of eggs, but I am building 12 panini, so I'm definitely gonna use it all. Now I'll just let them cook. The eggs are beautifully scrambled, so I'm gonna turn the heat off. I'm gonna take them out, and I want them to cool just like I wanted the ham to cool. Cheese doesn't melt well twice, so I don't want it to melt now because later, when I warm up the breakfast panini, it will have already melted and it just won't be as creamy and delicious. So every panini has to have a delicious spread. This one has a base of mayonnaise, probably about half a cup. And I'll sprinkle in a little salt. You know me, hot sauce. I always find an excuse to add it to whatever I'm making. And then it's so nice for this mayo to have a nice zip of lime. So I'll squeeze in the juice. Now I'll stir this together. It looks good. All right, good to go. Now I'm gonna start building these. I'll grab 2 slices of bread, open them up, spread sauce on both pieces, a piece of Monterey Jack on both pieces. Then comes the ham, a good amount of scrambled eggs, a roasted green chili, and the top goes on. Now I'll fold up the foil and just wrap them tightly. And that's one panini done. Let me build the rest of them, and while I do, I'm gonna tell you how to heat them up straight out of the freezer. I'll put the panini on the sheet pan in their foil and bake them at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. Take them out, unwrap them, cut them, and serve them up. I packed up 8 for the freezer. I'm gonna leave 4 out to warm them up for Lad and the kids later. My day is off to a great start. Pesto egg pockets, a delicious puff pastry baked square. They're great for breakfast and you can just grab them and go to work, school, a movie, wherever you want to go, you can take these with you. So I'm starting by scrambling some eggs. I just whisked 6 eggs with salt and pepper, and I put them into a skillet with some melted butter. And I'm going to just go ahead and add some spinach and start to give it a stir. And this is a good time to whip out the pesto. I was trying to be all fancy, and I put the jarred pesto into a bowl. I should have just kept it in the jar so you really could have seen the store-bought nature of the pesto, but I'm adding quite a bit, as you can see. Okay, so basically I'm just stirring the eggs, and I'm gonna cook them until the eggs are set, and it's really not gonna take long because this skillet was nice and hot. Look at this egg mixture. Delicious.
Very green.
Very green, very wonderful. So the eggs are pretty much cooked, so this is a good time to add the cheese, and I am using Fontina. I grated it myself just to make sure it's extra creamy, but you could do pepper jack cheese. You could do like a kind of a Tex-Mex version of these eggs where, you know, you add some peppers and chilies. These eggs are pretty much done. Check them out.
Wow.
As green can be, as cheesy can be. Okay, so I'm just kind of getting them into a single layer. I'll turn off the heat, and now I'm gonna build the pockets. And I'm using store-bought puff pastry, which comes frozen. I thawed it overnight, and then I cut it into rectangles and grab approximately 1/6 of the egg mixture. Ooh, gosh, and get it right in the middle of. Ideally, if you have time, you can let this mixture cool just a little bit, but we never have time for such things, do we?
No.
And just leave a little border around the edge. And then for the ham, I've got really small little pieces of deli ham, and I'm just folding them over twice and put them right there. So check that out, Alex.
Yum.
And then I'm gonna brush an egg wash, which is just egg beaten with a little water all around the edge. I may have filled this a little bit too full.
It's gonna be hard to close it.
I'm not gonna say I filled it too full. I'm gonna say I was very optimistic, which is a good place to be. I'm gonna take the second puff pastry rectangle and then just put it on top, let the edges meet up. Woo! Yes, eggs are coming out the side of that, but that's okay. And then I've got a fork, and I'll crimp it shut, and that should take care of that little egg issue over on the side. Puff pastry, by definition, puffs quite a bit when it bakes. So if you don't put enough filling in it, you're gonna have a whole lot of bread, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm gonna put it on a sheet pan with parchment, and now I'm gonna build 5 more just like this. I got them all built. And before they go into the oven, I'm gonna brush the rest of the egg wash. This just helps the surface of the puff pastry look really pretty and keeps it from looking too dry. All right, so Alex, check it out real quick before we go to the oven. See?
Wow, they look awesome.
All right, let's go ahead and put them in. I forgot to sprinkle on everything bagel seasoning. You should do this after you brush on the egg wash. All right, those look good. So back into the 400-degree oven, and we'll see you back here when they're ready. All right, the pesto pastry puffs are ready. Check these out, Alex, before you go.
Wow, those look so good.
They smell amazing. They smell of pesto and pure bliss. I'm gonna get them right onto a platter. Perfect little pesto pastry puffs. They look so good. You know what? I think we need to eat one. There's no way we can't cut into one of these, so you can see what they're all about. All right? You wanna come in for the magic?
Wow.
I can't speak. They smell so good. The combination of the pesto and that bagel seasoning, oh my goodness. That is truly delicious. Sweet and savory breakfast wraps. So I've been scrambling some eggs. First, I cooked some crumbled breakfast sausage, removed it to a plate, and I've been cooking the eggs in the same pan. I just seasoned them with salt and pepper, but they're getting all that flavor from the sausage. So these wraps are gonna be delicious. The eggs look amazing. They're fluffy and just about fully cooked. So just to add a little color, I'm gonna dump in a jar of drained pimentos. All right, the eggs are done. So now I've got all the elements ready and I'm going to assemble the wraps. I've got a flour tortilla and I'm gonna start by adding cheese. I've got American cheese here and I'm just gonna overlap 2 slices right in the center of the tortilla. And then I'll use a spoon to scoop on probably 1/3 a cup of the egg mixture. And then this crumbled sausage goes on. It's just getting pretty full. I am going to put a hash brown patty on top. These are frozen hash brown patties, and I just baked them in the oven until they were crisp. So one goes on, you guessed it, maple syrup. I'm gonna drizzle just a small amount over the hash brown patty. You know those breakfasts where you have like French toast or pancakes, scrambled eggs on the pan, and you get everything all mixed up? Well, that's basically what this wrap is all about. Don't knock it till you try it. This is incredible, just having that little hint of sweet. So to roll the wrap, I'm gonna tuck up the edges and then just tuck it all in while I roll. And it doesn't matter what it looks like, as long as you get everything safely tucked inside. This sweet and savory breakfast wrap is ready to go. So I'm gonna build 7 more just like this one, and then I'll fry them on both sides until they're crisp. So that's all 8 wraps made. And the next step is to cook them seal side down on a griddle in melted butter for about a minute. Then when they're golden, I'll flip them over, cook them for another minute on the other side, and when they're deliciously golden on that side too, I'll take them off onto a board. Look at these sweet and savory breakfast wraps. They're basically a glorified burrito. So all you have to do is let them cool, wrap them in parchment, put them in the freezer, and then whenever somebody needs one, you just pop it in the microwave inside the parchment, go 2 minutes, then turn it over, another 2 minutes, and it's ready to eat. Be careful because the insides are very, very hot. Lad and Bryce are out feeding cattle, so I'm gonna take a break in my make-ahead cooking and whip them up a portable drive-through breakfast. I'm gonna make them delicious breakfast sandwiches, biscuits, fried eggs, sausage, cheese. I'm starting on the biscuits right now. Now, the biscuits are actually cayenne cheddar, and they're delicious. I've just been grating up some cheddar cheese, and I think I've got just enough. So I'll scoot that over, and I'll start putting together the biscuit dough. It starts with 3 cups of all-purpose flour, about 1/3 a cup of non-fat dry milk, a tablespoon of sugar, and then a heaping tablespoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of cream of tartar, a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and then a couple of teaspoons of salt. Now I'll just stir the dry ingredients together, add a stick of butter cut into pieces, and I also have 1/2 cup of shortening. Now I just want to work it together until the mixture looks like coarse crumbs. So this is a good time to add the cheddar. I've got a good cup's worth. I love cheesy biscuits. I'm just going to stir it into the butter and flour mixture. So for the wet ingredients, it's nothing more than good old buttermilk. My favorite wet ingredient to add to any biscuit dough. I'll just stir it around and slowly work it in. Okay, I'll give it a good stir and see how that looks. I definitely want all the crumbs to be absorbed, but I don't want the mixture to be overly wet like a batter. It definitely needs to be a stiff dough. Okay, it's all come together and the dough looks great. So I'll get it all off the spoon, and I'll grab a little flour, and get it on the board. This is a pretty sticky, wet dough, so I'm gonna need all the help I can get. And it just goes right out. Now I'll grab a little extra flour and just sprinkle on top. Now rather than use a rolling pin, I'm just gonna use my hands and just flatten them. I like the tops to be lumpy and textured. That looks great. I'll just cut them out. Just 2 more biscuits to go in the pan. I smeared a little butter on the surface. I'm gonna brush a little bit of butter right on top of each biscuit. Now I've got the oven preheated to 450 degrees. That's pretty hot, so they only need to bake for about 10 to 12 minutes, just until they're nice and golden. Now while they bake, I'm gonna move forward on the fillings for the biscuits, starting with big ol' sausage patties. And now I just need to cook these on both sides until they're totally done. They're all done, so I'll take those out. Now, breakfast biscuits have to have eggs, of course. I love fried eggs, but Lad and Bryce are crazy about them. It's definitely their preference when it comes to eggs. I'm cool with that. I'll eat anything. Now, I'll just sprinkle the eggs with a little bit of salt and pepper. All right, I'll let the eggs start to cook, and I'm gonna grab those biscuits. I know they're done because the kitchen pretty much smells like heaven right now. Oh, yes. They look amazing. Nice and brown. Ooh, delicious. I'll check on the eggs. I don't want them to get too cooked. I'll try to flip them without breaking the yolks. 1 down. Here goes 2. And the 3rd one. Victory is mine. Now I'll get the assembly line going for the biscuits. I'm wrapping them in just individual foil sheets, so I'll get them open. Now, these biscuits are gonna be nice and piping hot. Ooh, emphasis on hot. The second one. Now, I'll just use a serrated knife to cut right through. Ooh, those are hot. Let's see how tough a country woman I am right now. Now, I'll open them up and get them ready for all those luscious fillings. I'm using a slice of white cheddar on each one. Because the biscuits are so hot, it's gonna help the cheese soften and melt. Then I will do the sausage patties. How good does this look so far? You could stop right there, but when have I ever stopped right there? I've gotta grab the eggs. Perfect, right on top of the sausage. This definitely would not be considered one of my low-cal recipes, but those guys are working hard out there. Couple dashes of hot sauce on top of each egg, just to give them a little different flavor, a little bit of spice. Oh, these look so good. I'll get the lids on. That top biscuit is gonna absorb some of that hot sauce. I'm gonna get these wrapped up so they stay warm, and then I'll run them out to the guys. Cheesy ham and egg hand pies. So I've got some butter in a skillet, and I'm just adding scrambled eggs, whipped eggs, with some salt and pepper. And then I have a bunch of chopped chives, which is a very springy ingredient. I'm just gonna stir the eggs and cook them slowly over medium heat until they're scrambled. These look good. I was noticing when they were scrambling just how beautiful and fluffy they look. There's something about scrambled eggs with chives that, weakness of mine, I just love them. So I'm putting them into a bowl, and then I'm gonna add some ham. I didn't wanna add the ham to the skillet because I didn't wanna contribute to everything being hot, 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 and the ham is already cooked. So the ham's gonna kind of help cool things down so that I can add the cheese, because these are cheesy ham and egg hand pies. And then I'll just toss, and by now the eggs are kind of cool enough that it's not gonna turn the cheese into a melty, stringy mess. Oh.
I could just eat this.
Okay, so now I'm gonna make the pockets. So I'm using puff pastry, and I thawed out 2 sheets and then cut them into 12 squares of equal size. And I'm gonna get a spoon and get a big scoop of the egg mixture. Pretty generous, because I mean, if you're gonna grab a cheesy ham and egg hand pie, you definitely want to have the cheese, ham, and eggs inside. You don't want to miss them. So then I have a little bit of an egg wash, just egg and water, and I'm going to brush the rim pretty generously because this acts as sort of a glue. Okay, then a second square. And when you put it on, you kind of want to stretch it just a little bit to make sure that it's going to meet the edges. You want to look at this up close, Alex? So you can meet the edges of the pastry and just meet them up. Press them together, kind of force out any air bubbles that are forming in the center. Take a fork, press all along the edge just to crimp everything together. Okay, so that is one cute little pocket or hand pie. I'm gonna put this on the tray and do 5 more just like it. All right, I got them all assembled. So I'm brushing the egg wash all over the surface, and that's gonna help them stay pretty when they bake. Okay, so then just to give them a little bit of decoration and crunch on top, I'm gonna sprinkle on some poppy seeds. Okay, let's go put these in the oven. 400 degrees, 20 minutes. Look at these, Alex.
Oh, wow.
So let's take a look. How do they look?
They look amazing. They're so fluffy.
Oh, wow, gorgeous.
Yum.
Oh, they look so perfect. Crispy morning wraps. So I've been cooking some sausage, just regular breakfast sausage. I kind of crumbled it into big chunks. So just eggs, salt, pepper, and milk. That's all this is. And I'll pour it into the same pan that I used to cook the sausage. Okay, now I'm just gonna scramble these eggs, straight up scrambled eggs, nothing fancy about it. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the eggs and just let them sit. So now I am going to build the crispy morning wrap, and it is so much fun. So you've gotta start with a big tortilla, flour please, and then I'll add some cheese, cheddar cheese, and Monterey Jack cheese. So the sausage that I made earlier, I'm gonna add as much as I can get on there. Yum, yum, yum. And now come the eggs, or eggs, however you like to say it. Boop. And then a little more. Boop. And then I'm gonna get some salsa. And then I've got some sliced avocado. Oh, and you know what? There's something in the oven that I forgot about. Just pop it right there. Oh, those are hot. Little hash brown coins, okay? This is, this is looking pretty hilarious. Oh, sour cream, that's right. And then it's just about folding in the sides, okay? So, and then fold up the other 2 sides. And then, look.
Wow.
And then it's kind of a neat little square. Look how cute that is. And then what you want to do is put it immediately, I should have just put it straight in there, into the skillet with the olive oil. Okay, now I'm going to cook it on the first side until it's golden. It's already time to flip. Boop. When you put the seam side down first, it kind of just seals it, so you can make sure it's going to stay closed.
The big reveal.
I mean, emphasis on big. My word. Oh, it's so crispy. Listen.
It is.
Oh, look.
Yum.
Look at that.